Patrick Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional sponsor and additional home to the Game Sports Show, Sportscenter Bar and Grill. Sportscenter Bar and Grill, located on 624 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Sportscenter rated top sports bar for the second year in a row. At Sportscenter, enjoy their famous 75-cent wing night along with delicious Molson products on tap, along with a great atmosphere and other great food options available as well. Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar.
Booyah, and it's time for the Game Sports Show. It is yours truly, David McCaig. It is July the 11th, 2018, and it's a beautiful week it has been, and yours truly has been on holidays, but radio never has a holiday, and we're here live at Sportscenter Bar and Grill. It is, as I said, Wednesday, and that's for their wing nights, 75-cent wing nights from 4 until midnight. God, they have the best wings in town, the best fries in town, the best servers in town, the best everything in town here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the home to the Sioux's best sports bar for the second year in a row, and spoiler alert, will probably be the third year in a row this year as well. I'm just going to make an early prediction on that. We are doing back-to-back weeks here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill, where, as everyone knows, that we usually do once or every second Wednesday for the summer months from June until September. Then from September until May, we go for every Wednesday. And here today we have a special guest, Jordan Robinson-Wright, one of the quarterbacks for the Sabrecats, will be joining us, and I'm here alongside my usual two here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill, Jimmy Antonello and Matt Premo, and I'm going to bring in those fellas in just a few moments. Going to get through the usual introduction portion here of the Game Sports Show. And as you can tell, we're using our new equipment here, a microphone, so you might be able to hear the lively atmosphere here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill. So hopefully everyone can hear the clearness in my voice. Because if you can't hear me talking, there's an absolute problem. I know Jamie will absolutely second that. I got to give a special shout out to Scott Nason, whom is our board operator tonight, as always, and a thanks to the beautiful Alicia White.
Easy.
The patented easy that I get for calling females beautiful here for servers on each night that we're here for the Game Sports Show. And as I said, we're here for the wing nights. Everyone is enjoying wings and those Molson products as well. And Sportscenter Bar and Grill has been a home to the Game Sports Show for going on its fourth year now. And that is definitely fantastic. We have a picture going up on the wall now here. We have a lot of great things happening with the Game Sports Show and a lot of agenda changes for the summer. We appreciate the listeners not getting too annoyed with the variety of locations we'll be going on for the summer and the time changes and all that fun stuff. As I said at the top, Sportscenter Bar and Grill, we're here every second Wednesday until September, and then it's every Wednesday from September till May. And until the end of July, we're going to be at Boston Pizza. That is every Thursday or Sunday. This week it will be on Sunday, is where we're at Boston Pizza. We're going to be there after 9 p.m. And for this Thursday show, we're going to be at Silver Creek Golf Course. Silver Creek Golf Course is going to be one of the homes for the Game Sports Show for 8 weeks, and until the end of August, where we'll have the Silver Creek Golf Course Thursdays or Sundays till the end of the month. And then from there, from August till September, it'll be every Thursday at Silver Creek before we conclude that. And then we'll have a permanent new home for the Thursday show that I will not be announcing as of yet on radio. I've been told by those individuals and their representatives and their leaders and their lawyers and all that we got to hold stay in that announcement until the papers are signed. We hope to sign the papers this week, and by next week's Thursday or Sunday edition of the Game Sports Show, I can give you a big announcement. And I know there's a lot of rumors going out there with whom that is. And you know what? Kudos to those people for doing their research, and that's all I'm going to say what that is. And I got a pretty big mouth myself, so I know I've opened my mouth about a few things, but hey, that is who I am. Now going through the list of additional sponsors here on the Game Sports Show, and let me tell you, I've got some feedback with the sponsor. Everyone says, well, we have a long list of sponsors. It takes a lot of time to get through the introduction and the ending. Yes, it does. And I got to say thanks to the sponsors whom are on board here for the Game Sports Show. And it's part of the show. We got to make sure that we state our sponsors. Obviously, Sportscenter Bar and Grill, one of the homes to the Game Sports Show. Boston Pizza, another home to the Game Sports Show. Silver Creek, another home to the Game Sports Show. And the fourth home, the Wicked Sister over in Sault Ste. Michigan, being the homes and sponsors of the Game Sports Show. North Shore Sports and Auto from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. The Superior Post Shop, the Salon, Discover the Canvas, Northern Critters in Need, Big Brother, Big Sister, KBX Hockey, and Northern Signs being on the Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario side, and then Pingator Cleaners in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. And I must give a shout out to Eagle 95.1 as well, especially on the American side of the show for the Game Sports Show. And please make sure you log into our website. you can check out www.thegamesportshow.com, and it directs you right to our Podbean page. That's thegamesportshow.podbean.com. And it's very simple. Just hit follow and type in your email. I know a lot of people are hesitant about putting in their emails for things because of the emails they're going to receive. You will not receive any emails or junk mail from this. The only thing you get from logging on the Podbean page and putting in your email is you get a notification on your phone or email that the Game Sports Show has uploaded a show, just so you can stay up to date. And with the Podbean page, you can listen to previous episodes of the Game Sports Show and follow us. You can even listen to Butch Davis from the Telegram News, who was a part of our show on the Monday edition of the Game Sports Show. And like I said, very excited to get some of the agenda released out for later on this year. We're going to have a lot more live content that's going to be coming out on the airways here along with the podcast. But fun fact, Jamie will back this up, we have more of the ratings on the podcast side than we do on the live side, which is very surprising because everyone likes to use their phones and vehicles instead of using the radio. Sometimes I'm guilty for that, as I'm a Spotify user instead of radio, and I'm sorry to the radio stations that I affiliate with for saying that. But it's very true. But without further ado, I'm going to bring in the guest, my co-host of the show, before we bring in our special guest. I'm going to go to the guy to my right first, Matt Premo. How you doing, Matty?
I'm doing good. Glad to be back. I missed the last episode of In the Pocket, so glad to be back. I think I'm in a better mood this week because we're on a 3-game winning streak as opposed to losing a couple in a row. So, I think things are looking up and looking good, and just glad to be back on the show.
Glad to have you back. Jamie and I had a great show last week. It was a lot of reaction to, especially the NBA side. I know we're well known for the In the Pocket segment here.
What are you talking about? Nothing happened in the NBA.
Nothing happened. And then the Pocket segment we're known here on the Sportscenter edition of the show, but we did get carried away with a lot of NBA news. And Jamie, great show last week. Ready for another great show this week, pal?
Absolutely, buddy. Always ready.
Are you always ready, though?
Yeah, I think so.
I think I was on time. You were late today.
Oh,
that's cool. I was late.
Okay.
And for tonight's show, it's going to be an In the Pocket segment. We're going to have our local football update and any other football news that Jamie and Matt and even Jordan wants to bring to the table. And then on our break, we're going to come back. And I kind of want to get Matt's reaction on the LeBron side of things and some Carmelo Anthony rumors, if it's the Lakers or the Rockets. And we're going to go to some NBA news. And we're going to maybe even have, if we have time, a roundtable discussion. A lot of people have been asking about our Wednesday show about how we haven't been able to do a lot of roundtable discussions because we've been really focusing on the football side of things because that's what's we would like to talk about. It takes up a lot of time. So even in our second part of the show, even if we have another commercial and have a third part of our show today, we're going to have a roundtable discussion. We're going to let everyone at this table bring out a topic that they want to bring out to talk about. It could be golf, it could be cricket, it could be rugby, it could be swimming. Good luck on me being able to respond to that, but we'll try. Even I know one topic I'd like to bring up today is the World Cup. So spoiler on what my topic is going to be. But fellas, right now for the first part of the show, we're going to jump into the In the Pocket segment. And I'm going to slide over to Jamie because he has seniority still, Matty. I know he's you're the head coach. So I'm going to go over to Jamie to get started for the In the Pocket segment and introduce our guest, Jordan Robinson-Wright.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. As usual, right? Happy to be back. Back-to-back weeks makes me feel like it's football season again, so I'm starting to dig this. But really happy to have our quarterback on, Jordan Robinson-Wright. Plays locally at Cora. This is his 4th year in the Sabrecats system. Funny enough, played as a grade 8, which is a tough thing to do in a junior varsity program. Played for me. We may not want to think about that season a whole lot. We kind of struggled a little bit. And then had 2 very successful years in the JV program the last 2 years. And this is, as a grade 11, his 1st year in varsity. But just going to introduce him and get him to tell us a little bit about his football background, how long he's been playing, and really the experience he's had with the Sabrecats.
Hi, I'm happy to be on the show. I'm Jordan. I've been playing football since I've been 8, so that'll be 9 years now. Started off in SMFA. I was younger than everybody else, and I started off playing running back and outside linebacker. Oddly enough, I'm a quarterback now. But I've been playing for the Sabrecats program for 4 years now. It's been a blast. I love playing for the coaches. I love the guys that I play with. I've developed so much as a football player just from playing with this organization. And I feel it's helped me to reach out to coaches in the university and try to move on to play football career.
Not a problem was in there, Coach. I see he likes the coaches.
I mean,
like that is so Seward in there.
we never accused him of being stupid, so.
I like that.
He's a smart player, so he knows the right things to say.
The quarterback. One thing that I couldn't do was play football. I never played football.
We know.
You know that. All I got is speed. I don't know if I'd be able to catch mid pressure. A lot of pressure being a quarterback. It's some mad respect to you, Jordan, for sure. I don't even know if I could throw 30 yards. You can tell that in my baseball game. But Matt, I'll slide over to you about some of the updates for the games in London. Correct, you guys were just in London, and so you get Jordan's reaction on the game as well, and Coach Jamie as well.
Yeah, so we recently just played on Sunday in London against the Forest City Thunderbirds. We were able to secure a victory, won 33-7. The score may not be indicative of how close the game actually was. At halftime, we were only up 10-7, so we were sweating a little bit on the sideline. We knew we were the better team. A lot of penalties on Sunday. Something that we got to fix going forward if we want to be successful going into the playoffs. But all in all, we played really well outside of the penalties. Our offense moved the ball well. Our defense was solid once again. So we're definitely happy with the victory. And to have 3 road wins in a row is huge. It's not easy in this league when you're traveling 10 hours on a bus to go play down in Southern Ontario every weekend. So to do it 3 weekends in a row, we're definitely happy to secure another victory and keep the ball rolling towards the playoffs.
Yeah, I'll have to echo what Coach said. I mean, I think our first couple games, and before we kind of touch base and we talked to Jordan here about our game versus Forest City, just to talk about, so as Jordan, as you made your jump up to varsity, right, we had a full quarterback competition to start the year, right? And our first couple games, right, amongst the competition and everything, we were still kind of trying to figure out our offensive identity. We didn't really know what was going on. And we're in a 3-game winning streak now. I think we've kind of settled into our identity, right? We've started to figure things out, got guys in the right spots. And I just want to talk to you about, get your perspective on how you thought the competition went and how you felt coming into these, really coming to your own as a starter now at the varsity level. It's a jump, right? You're a grade 11 kid playing against a lot of 19-year-olds, so it's a big difference, right? These guys have been in this league for 3 years, so just tell us how you felt coming into camp, right? Knowing that you were going to.
It was a little bit shaky because I've been the named starter. We've only had one quarterback all the way through until now, really. So it was a new feeling for me. I've never really had to play in a position where I'm fighting for a spot. And honestly, I think it was good for me. It helped better me as a man. And it definitely helped better me as a football player because I need that competition to continue pushing me to get better and better. And our offensive identity, we're a very balanced offensive team. We can run the ball well, we can throw the ball well. We have a bunch of talented receivers, and our O-line's been playing great these past 3 games. A lot of respect out to them for keeping me safe in the pocket. I couldn't do what I do if I didn't have them blocking for me. But yeah, we had a pretty good competition starting off the game. A lot of it was penalties that brought us back for. I think we had, over 300 yards of penalties?
Close.
Something crazy like that.
Not great.
Yeah. We had far too many penalties for a team to compete. We kept them in the game with us for sure. But coming into the second half, we started to play through all the garbage there. They like to talk a little bit, try and get in our head. So we just played through that, and we came out playing our game, and the score showed that at the end of the game.
Absolutely. And, I mean, speaking of talking, we had your center there, Mr. Julian. He tends to talk a little bit. He's a self-proclaimed talker.
Oh, Christ, is he ever?
He tells me that every single play comes off. He's like, Coach, I'm talking to this guy all the time. He doesn't want to talk back. I'm curious for you as a quarterback. Do you actually hear that all the time?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if we can repeat what he says.
I can't say a lot of the stuff that he says, yeah. But
Sort of.
every play I'll hear my O-line trying to have a conversation with the D-line, and I'll like last game we had Isaac Smithers, my left guard. He was talking to the D-tackle from the other team about playing Fortnite, and I'm like, this.
Can you floss? Can you get enough parents?
It's horrible. No.
I tried. I pulled a hip almost now, so it's fine.
Yeah. So like middle of the game, we're just talking to him about playing Fortnite, and we get back to the Sioux, and I'm like, guys, we're in the middle of a football game right now. I guess
I'd lose my
advantage, yeah, get in their head or something, but I don't know. Like I'll talk, but I'm not gonna say nice things. Like I'm not gonna have to kind of hang out after the game or something. So like I guess competitive advantage of it, but other than that, like it's you gotta get in the guy's head if you want to make the right play. I guess, right? You gotta get him off his game.
Absolutely, and I will say one thing for Mike is we played Waterloo our first game of the season, and both their D tackles are committed to play CIS, and
Mike was talking to him the whole game, and they just shielded him out. And by the end of the game, he said in the handshake line, the one guy said, "Man, and excuse me, listeners, you're fucking around." Good for Mike. I mean, he's getting in the head of guys for sure. So
we can bleep that out, right?
No, we can use it. You know what? People ask about, because we don't swear as much as people think, because people know who we are. And they know how I talk, and people that know me, I swear. I swear. I guess we don't give a warning before the show, but we do say that, you know what, there are going to be some swears that are out. On the live edition of the show, we are clean. On this podcast edition, if my editors don't edit it out, that means it didn't have to be edited out. So I know the last couple of shows, they've had a couple in there, and the listeners like that. Gives that additional atmosphere. But speaking of that laughter that we just had about Fortnite, what does that make you feel like, Coach? If you see your own players talking about Fortnite, does that upset you? Does that get you revved up as a coach?
Yeah, it does a bit, just because I'm from a different generation, I guess. I'm not a big gamer, know much about this gaming culture that's going on. So,
so you don't floss.
I definitely don't floss. It's not the approach I would take in a game situation, but I also understand that it's a different generation and things are a lot different, and whatever you have to do to get yourself mentally prepared is what you have to do. So I'm not going to hold it against them. As long as they're working hard out there and doing what they're asked to be doing, they can have a conversation. As long as it's not getting us penalties.
No. And it seems like penalties were a little bit of an issue last week, right? It seems like a big thing. I'll ask you, George, since you're the quarterback, what can the team do to be better disciplined? And I'm putting you on the spot for that question. I'm not even asking your coaches that question yet, because I know Jamie's response, and I predicted he would say, "We just got to be smarter." That's just kind of Jamie's textbook answer.
Thanks, that's exactly what I'm saying.
But I'll go over to you to Jordan to kind of state how your team can be better disciplined.
Well, it's kind of Coach Anto to start off. Like, we do have to be smarter. We have to watch what we say.
You did steal that.
Yeah, but
he's a smart kid.
Yeah.
We've established this. He's smart.
Yeah.
But no, we just need to keep our heads. I was running out of bounds after a 9-yard run during our game, and their corner, I was on the track, and their corner came and hit me. And I could have easily retaliated and went and probably beat him up. Like 4'2".
Yeah.
But I knew it would get us a penalty, so you just got to keep your cool. And then our leaders on offense and defense have to walk in there and get our guys out of it before anything happens, honestly. Like our veteran guys, they have to step in there when they see stuff getting rough or they see people talking. They just got to go in there and pull them out in the middle of it.
I couldn't agree more. I'm a big believer in coaches, I'll use plural, because Jamie, you're from the same generation as me. I can't forget here, we're the same age. It's a year off, actually. We both went to Queenie together. Fun fact, went to Dunn together for 2 years, because I was dumb and went to Basil's for the first 2 years of my life.
Poor decision making.
That's extremely poor decision making. But we come from a generation, and even Matt, we're similar to the same generation where you even just said that leadership is so key. I've always been a firm believer when you have a younger team, or if you have some young guys, you got to have the balance. You got to have some veterans, you got to have rookies, and you got to have sophomores. So you got to have a good mix. And usually in that type of situation, if the team is getting too many penalties, or if a team is getting too undisciplined in any kind of factor, you expect your leaders to come out and be like, okay, listen, settle down, guys, time out, even whatever it may take to get the job done. Do you think that's still important, or do you think the game has changed now where you could have an all-rookie team and they can have that, or an all-veteran team and it's just the balance is there?
Well, I think it's still the same. I mean, you need your leaders to step up and take control. I mean, the coaches can only take it so far. Mm-hmm. And when we do our best to try and monitor that and keep players on this side of the line. I mean, it is a violent game, right? You're playing football. It's a contact sport, and it's easy for you to go over that edge. It's our job to try.
And maybe the having players on as an interview, them coming on the show and being a partner helps them. Pump up his ego more than it is on him. Did he have a good game the last couple of games, Nick? Giulietti. Oh, Mike. Sorry. Mike. Did Mike have a couple big games, or did Fortnite kind of?
We would have to have him on a couple more times.
Jamie, you had some good road success now. Obviously, you won 3 in a row. Now coming home this upcoming weekend. And then I know we're going to talk about your upcoming games and preparation, all that. But besides, having a great quarterback in Jordan, obviously, but it's a good teamwork, obviously, to get the win. It was a team game. What are some extra positives that you can take out for the road wins that you've been achieving, and what has been so successful for you guys on the road?
Well, number one is winning on the road for us is massive, right? I feel like with us being so isolated in Sault Ste. Marie, it's kind of an extra boost for us when we went on the road. We're used to road travel. We're 8 hours on a bus minimum to get to any game. And I know we've gone down south and played a couple teams before, and they've kind of thought I think we've kind of, as I said to Jordan earlier, right, I think we've kind of started to develop a little bit of momentum, right? And our identity on offense is emerging, right? We want to be able to run the ball whenever we want to, but our play-action game off of that is just flourishing because of our success running the ball. Our O-line's starting to gel. I think we finally settled. It took us about 4 or 5 weeks. We had some injuries. I think we finally settled into a starting 5. Right? We had about 6 or 7, or 8, even 8 different guys rotating in there, playing a lot of minutes. But we've settled there. Our running backs are really starting to roll. Jordan's starting to understand the offense more, understand what coverages are different, right? Guys just start to take football a little bit more seriously, right? You get more, not to say that you don't get as many like multi-sport athletes, more guys are focused. You get a lot more guys focused because they realize I'm playing football at the next level. All right, this is my number one sport. I want to take it serious. You get a little bit higher level coaching too at the same time, so things are going to change. Disguise is a little bit better, but bottom line, I mean, I think we have the best home field advantage in the league. Unfortunately, we're 0-2 at home right now. Hopefully we can turn that around. I mean, those are both by 1-point losses, so I think our guys kind of are still going to feel that when Oakville comes to town this Saturday. So, I mean, unfortunately, this is my one game of the year that I'm missing. I'm in a wedding.
Run laps. I think
Coach, I got to run some laps already.
I know
that wouldn't be very smart. To keep the team going.
I had a thing where if the coach missed a game in hockey and we won, if you missed a game in hockey and you won, that next game the coach had to do laps. It was 10 laps on the rink. I know football is a little bit more difficult. What do you think, Coach?
We'll make them run at 220.
Oh. I'm not a fan of that. I'll still beat the entire O-line.
Oh.
So if we were to follow that rule, last year I missed our week 3 game, and Coach Premo would have been OC the rest of the year if that would have happened. You got to win.
Oh, God.
So he's been taking over the play calling duties, and not sure if Jordan actually knows that now. He knew that ahead of time? Okay.
Breaking news.
Just make sure I didn't drop a bomb on him. Bottom line, I think we're in a roll now, right? Now we just got to take advantage of our home field.
In the words of Jamie Antonello, great discipline. Now, Joe, I'm going to slide over to you. The coaches, Jamie and Matt, and the staff in general, do they trust you a lot with the game calling? Now, pretend they're not here. It's just you and me, so you don't have to suck up to either of them for that. I've obviously jumping into the program. It's always a learning curve every game. You're learning something new, and you have some great teachers here with Matt and with Jamie. So, but do you think? Do they give you those reins and kind of freedom to be able to trust that moment and give you that call? Or is it something that you guys discussed beforehand? Because that's what everyone wonders. And kind of from a fan's perspective, okay, we have even if it's a youth, if it's a young adult, if it's an adult, if it's Tom Brady, it doesn't matter who it is. They got the calls on their arm, you got plays, it's discussed in the huddle and everything. You got some earpieces in the professional level doing all that. I know it's a little bit different when it comes to Sabrecats program because it's not the New England Patriots, okay? But you got pretty close to Bill Belichick right here, from what I hear. But anyways,
I gotta win a championship.
No, but do you feel that like the confidence in that in yourself to make those calls, and like do they entrust in you to make those calls? Or is it always kind of discussed? Is it discussed before the huddle and during the huddle, or is it just give us that feedback about how it is to be in that moment?
Well, a big part of our offense is we make the reads on the defense, so there's a lot of trust in me there to make the reads. We don't really run huddle. Like at the beginning of every drive, Coach Anto, he'll tell me a play and I'll run it out and tell our guys in the huddle.
Nice.
But other than that, no, there's a lot. I have to make reads on the field. There's a lot. I have to read the ends on if he runs, and I have to on our different pass plays read different DBAs and stuff. So there's a lot of trust put in me.
Nice.
But I've been with Anto for a few years now. He's been coaching me for a long time, so at some point during the game, I can probably look at him and ask for a play, and he'll be like, okay.
Okay.
That's 100% accurate. That's literally what I'm
Great
saying.
discipline.
Yeah. But yeah, so like if I see something that maybe he doesn't, I'll let him know about it, and then we'll talk about it on the sideline, and we'll go from there, and then talk about the plays.
Yeah, it's. I'm finding that with Anto, I'm seeing right here that he's getting some jabs today, and he's probably wondering why I'm giving some jabs, but it's all for fun. I told you for last week, I always like to play, but now I'll go to you and ask you both the same question about the confidence in not even just Jordan, just your defensive leaders, your offensive line, all the leaders. I know he just basically answered the question about coming to you before plays ran and run to the huddle, but is there ever that kind of not disagreement, I think that's the right term, but maybe that kind of discussion that, we'd run this play. Hey, you know what? I don't think this play would work right now. I think this play would be better at this current situation in the game. What are those kind of moments? Do those occur much, or do you find that it's just always click, 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 it's ran, and it's just always run smoothly?
Well, bottom line, I mean, with any player, the more time you spend with them, the more comfortable you're going to you're building trust, right? So, as Jordan said, I mean, I've coached him a year of junior varsity Sabrecats, a year of high school, now a year of varsity Sabrecats. And when we were together in junior, I'm not up in a booth calling the game from the booth like a lot of the time happens at the professional level.
Who's that old lineman that did or not the old lineman, the coordinator for the Falcons that did that? Was that Shanahan?
Kyle Shanahan.
It was Shanahan, right? Okay.
There's a lot of coordinators in the NFL that shoot from the booth, right? And
wild. Do you agree with that?
I mean, it come and go. I mean, at our level, I don't think so. It's nice. I like being on the sideline. I like being able to communicate with our players. That's
Wouldn't that be good in the professional level, though, too?
100%. Players on the rest of the team, right? The guys that are 19 and have played for a couple years, and the guys that are used to this league or have even played at the next level, right? We have Myros and Jake Tucker, our leader on defense. He's played a year at Windsor, right? Completely different experience. He brings that back. There's different trust, right? And even some of it doesn't matter. I'll trust a 19-year-old as much as a grade 11 if their experience is similar and they show us their football IQ well. But yeah, I'll let Coach Matt here talk a little bit more about the rest of the guys.
Coach Pre.
Yeah,
Bill Belichick, as I just called.
Oh, wow.
You got to shots with the handles, because I'm okay with that.
Oh, there you go.
No, yeah, just to reiterate what James said, we put a lot of trust in our players, and in our system, we run no huddles, so we're signing the plays in from the sideline. And a lot of the time, it's communication between me and Jamie, what kind of defensive coverage we're seeing, so what we're seeing from the secondary, what kind of front we're seeing. And then off of that, we're going to determine what the play call is. And we think it's a little easier for us to determine that from the sideline, and then we'll call the play to Jordan. And then once we call that play, there's one or two players that Jordan is reading every play, and we trust him to make that read. And we've definitely seen his growth already this year. It's been impressive. As junior defense, we have a couple guys that are veteran guys, 19-year-olds. We've been on the varsity level for 3 years, and we trust them a lot. I think if we left it up to Jordan to call some of the plays, though, we'd be throwing the ball deep quite a bit. Jordan has one of the most impressive arms that we've seen in our program in a while, and he likes to show it off. So I think if we put the reins over to him to call a couple of plays, I think the ball would be deep a little more than it does now. But and rightfully so, he does have a strong arm and one of the most talented arms we've seen. But
he's getting rattled a little bit here, Coach.
Yeah. Not too often I do this, you know. You better enjoy it. No, he does have a strong arm, but so we're not going to turn the play calling over to him completely.
You jumped with that. Not completely.
Not completely at this point, but we definitely do trust him to make the right reads. And we have seen progression from the start of the year, and we're definitely happy with how our offense is progressing and where we're at right now.
You know what, absolutely. Making this show kind of a bit more humorous than usual. I like that. It's kind of that loose atmosphere. I'm feeling that. Dave McCaig alongside Matt Premo, Jamie Antonello, and Jordan Robinson-Wright. Quarterback 1 as they would call him in the program. Actually, that's Matt Premo that said that. We're just going to jump into just a few more topics that we're going to discuss. And then before we conclude the first part, I'm going to put Jordan on the spot about a few things about his favorite football team and favorite music. I'm expecting Taylor Swift.
Song on his iPod.
That one's coming out. Some of those questions are going to come.
iPods anymore, right?
They don't. Is it Spotify, phones?
iPhone, I guess.
Like, I remember when someone broke, getting off topic for 1 second because we like to do that. Someone broke into my truck a couple of years ago and they stole my iPod. And there's some stuff in there, like things I can't disclose on radio. But I'm just going to say flat out, at the end of the day, I think iPods are obsolete. I don't know if I want to say people still buy them, but people are using Spotify on their phones from their iPhone, or if you're smart, get an Android phone.
Streaming than anything now.
Or if
Yeah, my iPod got stolen on my vehicle too. And
Did it actually?
Yeah, and
Wow,
I never
that's
replaced
nice.
it. Yeah.
No, me either. See, what I did instead of getting it replaced was I just got Spotify and it ended up being covered because of Rogers Media. Sorry to throw them on right on. I just threw them right on the show. I wouldn't think I like that, but they covered it for the first year, and then now since I'm a cash employee now, as you saw at the place, you saw that folder there. I pay for it now though, but you know it's a good stuff to have. But anyways, back kind of on top.
Question it and just ask
Yes.
what he does. What does he do?
No, that's last. I'm gonna save it for last. I'll save that. We'll save that. We'll jump into this weekend. You guys have action this weekend. I want to talk about your preparation this week, going to this weekend's action. I'll let you, Jamie, kind of spearhead, the time, location. You guys already touched on it. I know I would take that, but that's your thunder. I'm not stealing your thunder because I kind of sometimes already steal your thunder as it is, stealing your quotes already as it is. But jumping on the games this weekend and kind of how you guys have been getting prepared for it. Let Matt go after that, then we'll get Jordan in to chime in on preparation for this weekend's game. And I know you also had some information with the Steelers play this weekend as well, if you wanted to state that.
Yeah, so this week's a little bit unusual. We were slated to have all of our home games be doubleheaders with our junior varsity and our varsity program. We were both scheduled to play the Oakville Titans. Unfortunately, the junior varsity team has decided not to come up, and they've decided to forfeit the game. So instead of our game being at 4 p.m. as usual, we were moved up to 1 p.m., which is honestly not that bad. We get the rest of our day afterwards. So there's no doubleheader this weekend, fans. Just a 1 p.m. varsity start versus the Oakville Titans. And I mean, we've been prepping for them. The nice thing is, this far in the season, we have plenty of film on them. We've got to see a lot of what they do, and a lot against common opponents, which is the most important thing, right? You can kind of stack up how you do. They do a little bit differently than a lot of teams we've seen, right? They run a 3-4 on defense. We've only seen one team that runs that, and that's Sudbury, and to be honest, we struggled against it. So we've been working a lot on it this week in practice. And Oakville offensively, right? They're a run-heavy team. We don't play it. They feature a tight end and 2 running backs pretty much every single play. We don't see that often. In the Canadian game, it's not a lot of teams run that consistently, especially in 3-down ball, right? They run the ball very well, so our defense is having to adjust to that, but like I said, lots of film. We have lots of film study we can do this week. Our guys are ready. They take it seriously. This Oakwood team has the exact same record as us, so we're treating this as a playoff game at this point, right? If we want to host a game, this is a team we got to beat. That's the goal. Turn it over to coach.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a big game. At this point in the season, both us and Oakville are 4-2. So we're tied identically in the standings. This is a game we have to win if we want to push ourselves in a good place come playoff time. So we're looking to have a good effort. And in terms of preparation, for me, a little bit different this week because I'll be calling the offensive plays. So a little bit different for me, calling plays in practice this week and getting used to all the signaling that I haven't done for a couple of years now. I was getting heckled a bit by the players because my signs were a little bit different than the way Jamie does them. So I've been working on those at home in front of the mirror. So yeah, a little different for me this week. My duties on the sideline are a little different. Usually I have more of a managerial role on the sideline. This week I'll be calling the offensive plays, so I'm sure I'll be tuned right in, and it's exciting though. It is fun. You have a little bit of an impact on the game when you're calling the plays. So I'm looking forward to that. In terms of Oakville, like Jamie said, a little bit different, running a 3-4 defense we don't see often, run heavy. I think the run heavy offense goes well for us. Our defense is, our front seven is the best in the league. I'm confident in that. And offensively, if I have confidence now with our playbook rounding out and us forming our identity. that we're going to have no problem moving the ball. So I'm excited. These type of games are the games you want to play, right? Tied in standings, tight for playoff position. There's a lot on the line, right? So it always makes it more exciting, and we hope to have a good turnout from our fans and good support, and get another W on Saturday.
Another dub, keep the streak alive. Now, to top off the topic, with the cherries on the cake on that topic, let's slide over to QB1. That's from Matt Premo. Jordan, what do you guys say for this weekend coming up in preparation?
This is going to be a big game for us. It's going to be probably one of the most challenging games we've had this season. Our offense is going to have to adjust the way their defense plays, but I'm confident we can pick up and we can keep rolling. But honestly, for preparation, I'm just trying to treat every game the same. Just trying to work hard in practice all week and do the exact same thing before the game, have the same rituals, get everything going, and then just come out and play how we've been playing. If we keep playing well, I don't think we're going to have a problem with these guys, but we just can't overlook anybody, and we just got to play our game.
Sabrecats football. Now, as you saw, I slid over the laptop to the coaches, give them a little blockade, because now it's you and me. Now it's you and me. I'm going to give the coach a quick break. We're going to do our just get to know kind of segment that we like to do before we go to our first break, and then we're going to hopefully you can stay on for some little basketball discussion, some roundtable discussion. So we're going to kind of go back and forth, just random questions. If you want to skip a question because it's too personal, you can say that. We'll never have that, okay? Okay, so with this portion, we're going to call it the get to know portion. We started it when all this got started with the Sabrecats, and we're going to start doing it for the players that come in, coaches, anybody who comes in that are local guests on the show. Doesn't matter if it's the Wednesday show, Thursday, Sunday, or Monday, or whatever day we have a show, because we have 3 or 4 or 5 a week, whatever it wants to do. When we have a local guest on, or local player, we're gonna ask you questions and about to get to know you, so listeners can get to know you a bit more, and maybe also chirp you on social media a bit if you want to as well. Okay, so we'll start off pretty simple. There's only about, I'll say, under a dozen questions, maybe, depends how it goes. And I have a thing that Jamie Antonello doesn't know about, producer ghost. Producer ghost in our ear until he tells me to stop. That's when I stop. So we'll slide over the mic each time, and when I ask the question. Favorite football team in the NFL?
I'm gonna have to go with the Carolina Panthers. I love Cam Newton. He's my favorite quarterback, so I gotta roll with them.
Do you do a celebration when you get a touchdown?
We kind of get in trouble for celebrating in our league.
Yeah.
I haven't gone in the end zone myself yet, but maybe I'll break something out if I score.
Okay, you're expected to get a touchdown this weekend. Sorry, coaches. He's running the ball, and I think.
I'll greenlight the super cam this weekend.
You'll greenlight it? Okay,
Yeah.
greenlight. You'll take the card for the penalty. Okay, favorite music genre? If you had to choose, I'm a variety guy. You can say variety if you have to go that route.
I'm variety for sure. If you look through my music on my phone, it's a little bit of everything. But you can never go wrong with Miley Cyrus. So.
That
Confident answer.
Very confident answer. That may as well jump into one of the questions we asked a little bit later, but it's perfect right now. I listen to or whatever music you listen to your music on, your Android, your iPhone, your iPod, whatever you got. We'll ask that question maybe next. What is the last song that I'll hear that you listen to?
The song I listened to on the way here, I listened to Menace by Quality Control.
Okay, even with Mike, he even said one that I didn't recall. I don't recall that, to be honest. I might have to Spotify that.
We're old, Dave.
Yeah,
we're old. Is it hip hop?
Is it hip hop? It is hip hop. Okay. Now, speaking of what we were talking about Android, iPhones, and whatnot, if your iPod got stolen, would you have to replace it, or do you not use an iPod?
Do you know what an iPod is?
Do you know what an iPod is? Sorry. Okay, well, that's actually a good question. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, I had an iPod a few years ago. I haven't used an iPod in a while. I'm Apple Music on my phone right now.
Apple Music. Okay. Apple
Better
Music.
question. Do you know what an MP3 is?
Yes.
A Grammy. Oh my God. You know what a walk? Do you know what a Walkman is?
She had one of those too.
Okay, she had one of those.
Hey, Jordan, what's MySpace?
Do you know what LinkedIn is? Still, is that a thing? Okay. Okay. Favorite movie, if you have one. That's tough for me. I know it's a tough one. If you want to name a couple, you can go ahead. I'll give you that freedom.
My top two would have to be Super Troopers and
Wow.
Step Brothers.
Wow, I just gained a lot of respect there. Yes.
Yeah, that's because we listen to it on every road trip.
Which you quote a lot. Do you just become best friends? Yeah, there. I know you want to say it. Oh my God, so amazing. Favorite actor? If you have one, I know it's something tough, but I'm gonna make you choose one. It could be an actress. I know Dustin's Gal Gadot.
Wonder Woman.
I'd probably say Will Ferrell. I love Will Ferrell.
So you like the Anchorman and probably like Mom the Meatloaf from Wedding Crashers and all that. That would be it. Let's see. What else can I ask, fellas? I'm thinking of a few more. I want to keep going. Producer Go says I can ask a few more. I'm kind of going to go with favorite sports teams in general, excluding the NFL.
In the NHL, it's Pittsburgh. MLB, Toronto.
Nice.
NBA, I'm not much of a. I don't pick one team. I'll watch most of the games and I'll just kind of pick a team there. But if LeBron's playing, I'm going to pick that team every time.
Wrong answer.
Wrong. I felt the hostility over here.
He was smarter than the rest of them.
Now, your favorite sports athletes. And you got to pick one out of all the sports. You got one that you're a role model, the one that makes you most passionate about. I'm trying to save the tough ones for last, fellas. I want to add some of the joke ones, but now I'm going to start getting to the tougher ones.
Probably Cam Newton. Because I like to think of myself sort of as a mobile quarterback.
Coach?
Some people may think otherwise, but that's all right. It's in my opinion, I like to run the ball, and he just shows a lot of hard work and dedication. He gives back to a lot of people, so I really want to be like that.
I like that. Car or truck?
Truck.
What kind of truck? Going through random stuff at him.
Probably Ford F-250 if I had to pick.
Ooh, Ford F-250. I don't know if the Dodge people are going to like that one. Now, favorite beverage. This could be a beverage, or it could be...
Keep in mind, Dave, he's 17.
Yes, yeah, he's underage. I keep that he is young, but favorite beverage. Pepsi, Cola, any kind of such. Gatorade.
Oh, he's a big Powerade guy.
I do love Powerade. I brings one every game in practice. But honestly, if I'm going to go and I'm going to drink something at home, I'm probably just going to get a big glass of water.
Bobby Boucher, the water boy, H2O. Favorite football movie? Because that was my next question. It's funny how you said that, Jamie. Yeah, there you go. Do you have one you want to ask?
Probably Waterboy, actually.
Waterboy. Now we got time for one more question. Producer Ghost is telling me to slide to one of you, and I'm picking Coach Premo. It's a good job. Unless you do you really want one, Jamie? Goes, no, you're good. Okay, one question from the coach to you.
I'm just curious what his Jordan's favorite play in the offensive playbook is.
Ooh, I like
Wow, I do like that. Okay, favorite play in the offensive playbook.
I have a prediction here too, by the way. If I
Okay, you got a prediction. Okay, if you choose
he's
this,
gotta say
yeah, you
first.
gotta say first. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay. You can whisper it in my ear if you want first.
I'm probably going to go with roll to comeback.
Oh,
That was my guess.
I was wrong.
Oh, roll to comeback, and
Okay,
yours
before he
was
says his own
okay.
guess,
Okay, yeah, coach.
I'm going to go with Jet Motion Key Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
You got that. I actually like that code. I'd probably run that every time because I'd love to hear Jamie say it each time.
Oh, no, it's not said, man. It's signal.
Oh,
Yeah, you gotta see.
Oh,
You gotta see Jamie
I wish we
sign
could
it.
say show the
Come get
signal,
some action
but
shots, man.
That's bad
but
radio.
We shouldn't do that. Yeah, it's like we can't show action shots, unfortunately. And plus, we wouldn't do that anyways, too, because other teams might look at it and know what it is.
Let them look.
Let him look. Dave McCaig alongside Matt Premo, Jamie Antonello, and Jordan Robinson-Wright, quarterback of the Sabrecats. Now, fellas, we're going to take a quick break. Enjoy some of the Molson products. Enjoy our company. We hear from our sponsors. You know, there's many. Hear from the commercial side of things because there's a lot of news and updates on that commercial side. It's going to talk about our T-shirts in there that are only $25 that you can purchase on our website. You go to the website, www.thegamesportshow.com. Go to the merchandise section. $25 a shirt. I'm wearing my shirt, and 100% of the proceeds go towards charity. And I know there's some people waiting about their sizes. A lot have been selling out quick. We are going to develop a program for it where you do a pay and immediate press. It's going to be called. We're going to have a batch. You order the shirt. The order goes through. It's pressed. You have it within 72 hours. That's the program we're going to be implementing very shortly. And I waited until the end because producer Ghost told me to wait till the end to state that. And because I chose to do that. Anyways, you're listening to The Game Sports Show on www.thegamesportshow.com and thegamesportshow.podbean.com and various other ways as well, and where you can hear The Game Sports Show. We're taking a quick break, hear from our sponsors, right back on The Game Sports Show.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional sponsor and additional home to the Game Sports Show, Sportscenter Bar and Grill. Sportscenter Bar and Grill, located on 624 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Sportscenter rated top sports bar for the second year in a row. At Sportscenter, enjoy their famous 75-cent wing night along with delicious Molson products on tap, along with a great atmosphere and other great food options available as well. Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar. The Game Sports Show would like to thank a list of additional sponsors. North Shore Sports and Auto, new location located on 647 McDonald Avenue, Sault Ste. Marie. A family-owned and operated business with doing business in Sault Ste. Marie for over 10 years. Loads of products available for your enjoyment for all seasons. North Shore Sports and Auto, we understand the importance of quality service and products, and we work hard to ensure that all customers have a positive experience before and after each and every sale. North Shore Sports and Auto, meeting all of your new and pre-owned equipment needs. Special thanks to Salon. The Salon, located on 589 2nd Line East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Mike Cuglietta. Book your appointment today at 705-941-9191 or via online at https://thesalonsou.as.me-. The Salon, making the Sioux beautiful, one haircut at a time. As well as a shout out to the Superior Pro Shop. The Superior Pro Shop, located inside the Community First Credit Union Superior Arena on 285 Northern Avenue East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Jeremy Paquin and ran by Larry Monroe. Superior Pro Shop, for over 40 years, meet all of your skate sharpening, skate repair, and hockey needs. Also to Discover the Canvas. Discover the Canvas, located on 317 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. A beautiful new renovated building owned and operated by expert artist and Sioux native Katrina Thibodeau. Katrina taking her talents of the ink in Sault Ste. Marie and truly creating the best and most realistic art locally. Call Katrina today at 705-450-8099 or email her at discoverthecanvas@gmail.com to book your tattoo or consultation today.
Check out our brand new website up and running now at thegamesportshow.com. There you can find past broadcasts of all our shows from the Wicked Sister in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, and Boston Pizza and Sportscenter Bar and Grill in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. As well, you can find our brand new t-shirts available for just $25 a shirt. All sizes are available and proceeds will go towards Northern Critters in Need and Big Brother, Big Sister of Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Now you can purchase the shirt by emailing thegamesportshowssm@gmail.com. Please state the total amount of shirts and size needed. They have payment options available, e-transfer, or cash upon delivery, as a shirt can be delivered to your location if you live in the Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, and Ontario area free of charge. TheGameSportsShow.com, where you find all your local, regional, and national sports that you just can't get enough of.
Hi, this is Joe Bowen, and you're listening to The Game Sports Show from Sault Ste. Marie.
Welcome back to The Game Sports Show. It is yours truly, David McCaig, alongside Jamie Antonello and Matt Premo. Unfortunately, Jordan did have to bail. We figured that he was going to be staying, but, we kind of went above his time. We did that on the previous segment there. We had our off-season in the pocket segment. Just kidding. Because if everyone knows, there's no such thing as an off-season in the pocket anymore. Because in the pocket is entire season now. It's going to be all year round with, September till that May being the National Football League and local football with high school football. And then obviously with the Sabrecats coverage and some Steelers news as well plugged in there for the summer months here in Sault Ste. Marie. So in the pocket is all year round. And we had a good segment there with Jordan, and we appreciate Jordan coming on by. And it's unfortunate that he was unable to stay with us for a roundtable discussion and our NBA discussion and our World Cup discussion. There's my spoiler for the roundtable topic that I'm bringing up first. But I like to do that. I like to keep the listeners teased. I know there's a lot of soccer fans in the Sioux. A lot of them have been hidden because of Italy not being in there, yours truly. But I know there's a lot of England fans, and there's also a lot of Croatia fans. Croatia's corner, right on the corner there of Queen and Bruce. Yep. Wellington and Bruce. So, there's a lot of fans. We're going to get to that in a little bit as well, and then Jamie and Matt are going to bring topics forward as well. But, fellas, we're going to jump in first here to the NBA. I know last week myself and Jamie had a great reaction on LeBron James and the Golden State Warriors, and yours truly on the Monday show of the Game Sports Show, The Wicked Sister. But I did not chirp Golden State. I stated that this was not Golden State's fault about DeMarcus Cousins going there.
It's also not DeMarcus Cousins' fault. It's the NBA's fault, and the other 29, 30 teams or whatnot choosing not to give DeMarcus what he wanted. I know apparently the Pelicans offered him $12 million or something around that range. That's rumors again; those aren't verified. But he took a $5.3 million contract with the Golden State Warriors, which takes up the remainder of their cap space. And he is actually apparently just going to be missing training camp now, Jamie.
Okay.
Looks like he is going to be playing the majority of 60-plus games this year if he stays healthy. So the Golden State Warriors are getting one of the best centers in the league at an extreme discount. And the reason why I say extreme discount is because Red Van Fleet signed in Toronto for $9 million. So if I'm saying anything, we got a lot of rumors in the NBA front. We got Carmelo Anthony. We got Adam Silver's comments as well towards Golden State. But we also have some big news out of Kawhi Leonard. Apparently the Toronto Raptors are front runners to acquire him. Now we know where he's going next year. Spoiler. He's going to go to the Lakers. Okay, unless the Raptors are doing a sign and trade somehow. And funny thing today is DeMar DeRozan removed his Instagram page and cleared it all out except the Toronto Raptors link. But apparently he does this every year. So people aren't reading in too much of a little bit, but he didn't do it last year. So people are wondering if DeMar DeRozan is the guy going the other way, which I think doesn't upgrade the Raptors in any sort of way. It just helps them defensively. I kind of hope they're able to keep DeMar and Kyle all together and they move out somebody like Serge Ibaka or something else first. But we're going to jump into the Raptors just a little bit first. Like I said, it's the NBA. Then we're going to have our roundtable discussion. And then we're just going to conclude tonight's show. We'll start with Carmelo Anthony, though. I'd like to start there before we go into the Toronto Raptors rumors and the other various rumors on the NBA. Carmelo apparently is choosing sides. It's like Darth Vader choosing the dark side or the good side. You know, if you want to go that route. But I've seen pictures on Instagram of him wearing a half Laker jersey, half Houston jersey. Now, before people are maybe wondering why I didn't go to you first with the LeBron reaction, because this is all intertwined. Okay, we're going to get the Carmelo Anthony rumor, and then because I'm going to say Carmelo is going to go to the Lakers. I know people my heart says the Houston Rockets, but my mind is saying the Lakers. Now, Matt, I'm going to go to you first, and the reason why I'm signing to you first is about your intake on and output on the Carmelo Anthony, and also I want to get your reaction on the LeBron James signing in LA, because I know you're such a big LA Laker LeBron James fan. Sorry, you're a big LBJ fan. So I want to get your reaction. You already know what mine and Jamie's are from last week. So those are my two questions to you to start off with our NBA chat here.
Since I'm a little behind, I guess we'll start with the whole LeBron going to the Lakers. You know what? I kind of saw it coming about a month ago on the show. We kind of predicted where he may go, and LA was one of my predictions. Big market. A lot of chance for endorsements in LA and get into the movie business and all that stuff that I think that he might want to venture into eventually. And the limelight, right? I think he loves the limelight. He's very active on social media. I think he's very high on himself, and what better place to be than LA?
You think that?
Just an educated guess. So, I mean, I'm not surprised by him going to the Lakers. What does surprise me is the signings that followed. I mean, Lance Stevenson, JaVale McGee.
What? 1 year deals, though, as Jamie has to.
1 year deals. I'm not sure what the plan is there in LA.
Rondo.
I do like Rondo, actually. I like the Rondo.
I like that one the best.
I like the Rondo, but I don't know how he fits with LeBron because they both like to handle the ball a lot, so I don't know how they fit together when they're on the court at the same time. So, I mean, that's a little bit surprising. You kind of thought that the other dominoes would fall when LeBron went there. They may find a way to get Kawhi, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. And kudos to San Antonio for staying strong there, not just buckling to the pressure of a superstar, right, to demanding a trade. They got to do what's best for their team. So, I mean, not surprised. I don't think it's a bad decision on LeBron's part. I mean, I'm loyal to Kobe, so I mean, and I've been a Lakers fan because of Kobe. So I will still cheer for the Lakers. I may pull for LeBron a little more now because he's on the Lakers, but I mean, I don't think it's a bad decision on his part. I think it's a good business decision. If he's able to win a couple championships there, I think it'll be good for his legacy as well. I mean, doing it in a big market like that. But yeah, in terms of Carmelo Anthony, so I may dislike Carmelo Anthony more than I dislike LeBron James. I don't know what team that would want this guy. I don't know.
The Knicks.
I don't know one team that wants to win a championship is going to go and get this guy. I don't think he helps you. I mean, yeah, he can score, but I mean, when you watch, if you ever watch any team he's been on, whenever he's on the floor, the ball always sticks with him. Now that the whole game's about ball movement, sharing the ball, I don't think that's his game. I think he's ISO, hoodie mellow.
Hoodie mellow, man. That's it.
And he doesn't fit in today's NBA, and he's not going to help you a lot defensively. And so I don't know what team that's contending for a championship that thinks he's going to help them. And especially if it comes with a large price tag, I don't see why anyone would go after him. But it's just see where he winds up. But he's not going to be a key player, I don't think, whatever market he ends up in. I mean, like a lot of other sports, a lot of young guys that are contributing a lot in the NBA now, and he's older and not getting any quicker. But I mean, there's probably still a spot from summer. It'd just be interesting to see where he ends up.
See, someone brought up a fascinating thing, Jamie, before I get over to you with the Carmelo, because I know we already got your reaction with LeBron James and myself. Someone said if DeMar goes to San Antonio, is if the Raptors are going to get Carmelo. If Kawhi goes to Raptors, and if Melo goes to the Raptors. And with that I read, I can just say that would make no sense. And we're going to jump into the Raptors room with Kawhi. I don't want to ruin that whole topic, but just to say what you said about Melo, the guy doesn't help you win, I don't think. And that's why I think Houston won't pay that price tag on him, and that's why I think the Lakers will. And the reason why the Lakers will is because they're signing these guys in one-year deals. I think they know they're not going to win this year. Not that I'm doubting this. I never know what's going to happen. Trades happen. Things happen throughout the year. They have a lot of young guns there. They can make deals. I understand. But I think when they compare themselves to Houston and Golden State, mostly Golden State right now, I think maybe they say, okay, we're just a step or two behind. Not two might be a little too far. Maybe that one player to play with LeBron and also to get us over the Golden State hump. And then Golden State next year needs to pay Clay. Clay, who I predicted to go to the New York Knicks next year, along with Cousins. I feel that the Knicks are going to make a splash next year because they freaking need to salvage that organization. So I think this is the year where LeBron goes, okay, look, I'll get some of these guys to fill the roles in here with Stevenson, with McGee, and maybe Melo goes in there and try to revitalize it. Maybe he gets that mature point where people saw him before when he was with Denver, or when he was with when he started with the Knicks, not when he finished with the Knicks. There's somewhere else as well.
I think we got to go back to Syracuse if he's going to help anybody.
Syracuse, nice. I like that. But at the end of the day, I think that's why the Lakers make sense with it. But he doesn't help you now. So, Jamie, I get your comments on the Carmelo Anthony rumors and where you might be seeing Hoodie Melo ending up before we jump into our Toronto Raptors little rumor about Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, I mean, you guys both brought it up. I mean, Hoodie Melo is kind of the peak of where he can be now at this point. And unfortunately for him, that's just hitting spin around jump shots in the gym with nobody guarding him. I mean, wherever he goes, if he ends up in a small market with not a lot of talent, sure, he's going to start and he's going to sell some jerseys. He's going to hopefully get some fan base in that arena. But realistically, any of the contenders, he's not really going to help them. Like, he may give them, say he plays a full 82 games, he's maybe giving them 15 quality games where if he comes off the bench, he scores like 15 and plays well. Or he spot starts here and there. But I just don't see him really helping a team a whole lot. He's more of a distraction at this point. Like, there's his games, like Matt said, the NBA is different than when he was playing in Denver. Right? And even Syracuse, as you said, like, he's not the player he was. It's more of a distraction now. I mean, Houston kind of proved that iso ball can work, but he's not James Harden, he's not Chris Paul.
Chris Paul has done
End of
very
story.
well in
like,
Houston.
We're done. End of story.
I think if Houston had Chris Paul for Game 7 or 6,
difference maker.
6, I think they win that series.
6 and 7, yeah.
I think they win that series. People think I'm crazy because of how clutch Golden State is, and ultimately they swept Cleveland in the finals. But maybe they shouldn't have swept Cleveland because of Game 1 with J.R. Smith's debacle and doesn't know awareness because he's probably too stoned while he was playing. Sorry, I'm saying that on radio, but I really think that Houston would have defeated Golden State if they had Chris Paul in the lineup. If you take that out, that's a big player taken out of the lineup. Now, apparently CB3 and Melo are friends. LeBron and Melo are friends. He's
Banana
not to
boat.
choose it, but yeah,
Banana boat, man.
For real. But I feel like
How about that wine life?
I really think that Houston's going to be like, nah, we're good here. And if they get Melo, it's not going to put them over that hump.
No.
You know, I really think that the Lakers, or thought that the Lakers, we're going to jump into this individual in just a few seconds here with Kawhi Leonard, we're going to maybe make that trade. But it's smart that they're not, because they're probably going to sign him next year in the offseason. Let's get real. And that offseason next year is stacked. Jimmy Butler, DeMarcus Cousins, Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving. Wow. Imagine him on the Lakers. Wouldn't that be something to talk about here on the show? But I got to say right now that the Melo thing does not help you now. And buyer beware. Buyer beware. And I certainly hope that with my Raptors joke that does not happen. Because I know what being a Toronto fan, a lot of things can happen. So I'm going to jump in right into the Toronto thing right now with Kawhi Leonard. Leonard is going to be a Laker next year, or he's going to get traded there this year, and he's going to sign an extension, whatever happens. But I think the Lakers are like, hey, wait, we're not trading Ball. We're not trading Kuzma, and we're not trading Randall. We're not trading these guys right now for him, because we're a step behind Golden State. We know that. We've signed some good guys. We could sign Melo. You can wish him a prayer on Melo if you really want. But we're not going to beat Golden State this year. You're not. I'm sorry. I'm going to be honest. You're not. If like Paul Van Wagner said on ESPN Virginia Blacksburg, one of my mentors actually, when he said the only way Golden State loses is if Klay, Durant, Curry, and Draymond all get in a car and go off the Golden State Bridge. And I love that expression, and that's so inappropriate to say, and I hope that doesn't happen because I might get questioned from the FBI on that. The FBI might come to Canada for that. I just can't. Even if Curry goes down, Golden State's good. Klay goes down and Curry, they're still good enough to win.
3 before they're in trouble.
Yeah, before you're in a little bit, because when you go play Houston or even the Lakers with LeBron there, you can capitalize on that. And I really think they'll get back to the thing with Kawhi that Lakers, Magic's like, hey, why make this trade? Move these guys. Why don't I just sign Kawhi next year? I'll have LeBron, Kawhi, and the 3 young guys. I'm sick. And I'll have a 6th man in Carmelo Anthony next year. There's my team. Golden State, who do you got? You're losing Klay next year. You're probably losing Klay next year because of the money. So I think that the Raptors are looking at this right now, though, and the reason why they're front runners is because they can give San Antonio what they want. An NBA-ready player, a bunch of picks, and they have a lot of prospects. They're young, and their youth in their system is unbelievable, the Raptors. They have a very good team, and the East is wide open. Everyone's saying it's the Celtics, it's the 76ers, and the Bucks. I think the Raptors are still better than the Bucks because they had the same team coming back this year, the Raptors. If they don't trade for Kawhi, they have the same team coming back next year. I think they're not as good as Boston when they're healthy, and I think them and the 76ers are tight. I still think the Raptors are top 3 in the Eastern Conference next year in points-wise. I know the Celtics are in their division, so it's... they are in the division. No producer goes, so correct me if I'm incorrect with that. But I think the Raptors have a chance to win the East next year in the season and the playoffs. I think Masai Ujiri is looking at this saying, if I acquire Kawhi, I'm getting to the finals. I'm saying that right now. Kawhi is the best defensive and two-way player in the NBA. He will shut down Kyrie. He'll shut down anyone. Hayward. He'll be probably on Hayward if he plays against Boston. Yeah, and he'll probably be on Simmons if you play the 76ers, I would say. So he's going to stop those guys, and it's going to give more freedom for Kyle. More freedom for Valanciunas. I like to say that. I like to cheer Barkley for that, but it's Valanciunas. He's going to give more freedom for Fred VanVleet to try to get some more threes this year and make ludicrous shots. So I actually think the trade makes sense. Now, I'd be upset if they traded DeMar. I've heard that's a rumor that they might trade DeMar, and that's why I'm going to go to you here first about if they trade DeMar, if that's a smart move or not in that trade. And what would be the value going back to San Antonio? Because right now, the price is high for Kawhi Leonard. Very, very high. And were the Raptors willing to pay it? Yes. Should they? I honestly think they should. They've had 5 years of successful years. They have a lot of youth still in the system. Why not go for it? The East is wide open. Let's stay competitive and let's have a chance to get to the finals where you're going to be playing Golden State, where you're probably going to lose. But at least you get there. People wonder why would you sacrifice the future for that? Believe it or not, the Raptors will not be sacrificing too much future if they trade for Kawhi because they have so much prospects because of all the crappy years they had in the early thousands or the early teens here, before they got successful in 2014.
Yeah. I mean, Kawhi really would fill a role there in Toronto that they don't have. They really don't have a set small forward. I mean, I know Toronto played a lot of 3-guard kind of. They had DeMar, Fred, and Kyle on the court at the same time. But, I mean, they had CJ Miles playing a lot last year. They had DeMar playing small forward often last year. And
Kawhi's a superstar. I mean, we've established that when he's healthy. I mean, didn't play a lot of games last year. Let's be real. And hopefully
he'll sit out this year if he doesn't get traded. He will sit out.
I'm not going to disagree with you, man. I think he's so unhappy with his situation in San Antonio that he's willing to just hang tight, and he's put enough quality game on the court that he realizes teams understand how good he is. But I think he could help Toronto. I mean, even if it's just for a year, right? Like, you make it to the final, or as you said, that organization is deep. And the other big point is, we talked about it, next summer's free agency pool is enormous. If all those guys that are UFAs go onto the open market, and a bunch of the RFAs that are potentially could go too. It's going to be a big offseason for the NBA next year. And we thought this year was big just because of the LeBron signing alone, right? That's a huge one on its own. But the bottom line, I think, I'm still going to say I'd be surprised if Kawhi ended up in Toronto.
Yeah,
I would still be very surprised.
Yeah, I think so too.
Regardless of where he goes, he fits. He's a starter wherever he goes.
That's true.
He stays in San Antonio. He's unhappy. Probably doesn't play the whole year. Bottom line.
Got to say from producer Ghost before I sign over to you that the actual 76ers are also in the Atlantic Division as well. So you got the Raptors, Celtics, and Sixers in that division. That's a tight division this year. So if the Raptors want to remain competitive with their team, because they have all these guys signed, they might need to pull a trigger on that trade. I know you say you'd be surprised. I agree. I would be too, but it does make sense. But like you said, it makes sense wherever he goes. If I'm Masai Ujiri, LeBron's gone. Matt, why not say screw it? Let's go for it once, because we haven't really gone for it. They traded a first for Kyle. That's extremely paid off twice over in itself. DeMar was growing up in the system. Ibaka, they traded for a first-round pick, and Terrence Ross, and that's repaid itself too. Okay, because if this happens in this trade, he probably would be the other guy going the other way, I would think, because of similar position or similar kind of impact.
Power forward.
Yeah, they would defensive side of things. But Valanciunas grew up in the system. Van Fleet, undrafted, grew up in the system. You got all these guys that are there in the system, so why not just go for it once?
Yeah, I really think it depends on what San Antonio wants from the Raptors. Realistically, because I think the Raptors would know, like you guys said, it's going to be a one-year rental type of deal, right? They're not going to have them. In my mind, I wouldn't make the trade because of that. Their roster proved to be good enough last year to finish first in the East. It hasn't changed. So what does getting Kawhi do? I mean, maybe gets you around further in the playoffs, maybe gets you to the finals, but it's only for 1 year, right? If you have a long-term picture and plan, I don't think it's the right move, especially if you have to give back a bunch of pieces and young guys. And there's a couple good young players on their team. Anunoby had a great year as a rookie. Yeah, I like him a lot. So if he's going the other way, if DeLon Wright is going the other way, I like his game too. These are young guys.
Bench in the league.
Yeah, those young guys are pretty talented. Honestly, the one guy I would be willing to get rid of would probably be Kyle Lowry. I mean, he's getting older. He's probably peaked in terms of his ability in the NBA.
Basically.
And Van Vliet, he's been proven. But I don't think San Antonio wants that trade. I don't think they want Kyle Lowry for, you know what I mean, and even another couple pieces and draft picks. I don't think San Antonio would want that. I think San Antonio's going to want young players and draft picks.
They did lose Tony Parker though.
Yeah, Tony Parker. I was just about to say that. Goes to the Hornets, so they lose that point guard. Right?
But I think you're right. I think San Antonio's.
I don't think they're going to go for it. I just don't see the fit. And if I'm Toronto, it's a unique market. You got to find guys that want to be there. Because if they don't want to be there, I know there's a whole stigma of the guys from the U.S. that not want to go to Canada, and they think it's a Great White North and all that. And even the fan base has proven that they're one of the best fan bases in the NBA. I still think it's hard to get guys to go there. So you got to find guys that want to be there and want to stick it out. If you know Kawhi's only going to come for 1 year and leave, how far ahead are you at the end, right? Yeah. So from a long-term standpoint, I don't see it as being a smart move. Short term, you may get to the NBA Finals next year with them. That may be it. If you keep DeMar and Kyle maybe and not have to sacrifice too much of those young guys, you may be able to make it. But I just don't see it making a lot of sense. The East is going to be a little bit easier than the West, so there is a chance if you can get a couple signings that you can make it to the East Finals or the NBA Championship. But it'll be interesting to see. I think someone's going to have to pay a lot to get Kawhi. I wouldn't do it at this point. He's going to walk anyway. It'd be interesting if he does go to LA. I heard rumors that he maybe didn't want to go to LA now because LeBron's there. He doesn't want to be in LeBron's shadow, and maybe the Clippers. I've heard that rumor flying around on the internet. So it'd be interesting to see. I mean, I think if him and LeBron team up, that'd be dominant. They'd be right up there with Golden State. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. The West is going to be tough to get out of next year.
Bryce is going to be very, very tough. And what's nice is that that Atlantic division is extremely competitive as well for the East. At least it adds that additional excitement to the East, because a lot of people are questioning the East this year if it's even going to be enjoyable, and it is, because it's so wide open. You're not going to know. You can't really pick who's going to come out of the East. You can say the Raptors, the Celtics, the Sixers. I think the favorites are the Sixers a little bit because of their youth. I think maybe the Celtics. People are really still putting down the Raptors, but they really shouldn't, because of the same freaking team coming back. And the Bucks, I love Antetokounmpo. That is, I'm a Raptor fan, but that's my favorite basketball player. I believe it or not. I'm not going to get into this right now, but you know the Raptors could have had Giannis Antetokounmpo. Did you read that article in the draft?
Yeah,
we'll get to that. The Raptors could have had Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Who'd they get instead?
That's a good question. I don't know. Do you know that answer?
No, I don't. We'll have to ask.
Yeah, well, the producer girls have to tell us. But we'll get producer girls to get that for us to make him work a little bit in the background here. Dave McCaig alongside Jamie Antonello and Matt Premo, and producer Ghost looking right now, he tells me. So we'll let producer Ghost get back to me when we can. I'll just randomly put that in there. Right now, we'll jump into Adam Silver's comments quickly before we wrap up the NBA comment. Then we're going to go to our roundtable before we conclude tonight's show. Jamie, I'm kind of going to let you spearhead a little bit the Adam Silver comments with Golden State getting judged and getting allowed to be a super team in the NBA. That maybe that's an issue for the NBA. Do you think it's a problem for the NBA that the Golden State is as good as it is, or do you think there's anything that can be done, or do you think anything should be done? Because really, in the world of sports, if you get a player, and if the player especially calls you to go there, hey, he can do what he wants. There's nothing in the rule book that says we can't get a certain amount of good players on the basketball team.
No, I mean, you've already touched on it, and I think I've made my opinions pretty clear that the rest of the NBA is just kind of behind there. I mean, Golden State has, drafted really well and made some great trades and become a dynasty at this point, right? You've completely dominated the last 5 years of NBA, and rightfully so. And if Boogie Cousins wants to take a discount to play for you, the rest of the league shouldn't be upset. You should be mad at yourselves for one of the other 29 teams not making a move, right? I mean, the guy wanted good money. He's a quality player. He's a perennial all-star. He's a dominant center. And I don't think that the rest of the NBA should be going, oh, boo-hoo. I mean, I'm mad at Golden State. They're so good. Okay, go ahead and make some moves, draft them. I mean, and make some moves and acquire some players. You're going to get lucky in the draft. The draft is a crapshoot, especially the NBA. It's 2 rounds. You're going to get busts. If you only have 2 picks, sometimes you're going to go a couple years in a row where all 4 of those guys are terrible and never pan out. And if that happens, it's not good. And you're going to get other years where Golden State gets Clay and Steph, and they become league all-stars and dominant and a couple of the best three-point shooters in the playoffs and regular season of all time right now. They're completely dominating. But as far as Adam Silver's comments go, I mean, I really agreed with what he said about you can't force parity in the league. You want to see parity, you want to see turnover, and I think the NHL has kind of set the basis for that. And I'll say the MLB and really every other league except for the NBA has pretty good parity all the time, but you can't force it, right? So I think that's why he's getting that little bit of pressure. But bottom line, I agree with what he said. You do the best you can, you try and balance it out, and each organization has to do their due diligence. And again, bottom line, it just comes down to a little bit of luck. I mean, dynasties are going to happen in sports no matter what league it is. I mean, doesn't matter what it is, the New England Patriots in the NFL, dynasties, there's been a ton of different dynasties in every single sport. So there's not much you can change. I mean, the NBA itself can't do much, but I think, that's it.
A lot of words there, especially with Adam Silver. I'll let you spearhead that because I know you were discussing off air. The producer goes telling me, and Matt will, you wanted to add anything before we do the Adam Silver thing? Are you good to, do you want to add anything to the Adam Silver thing?
I mean, I don't think you can take anything away from the the Warriors because they developed this organization that's been extremely successful. I mean,
it's everyone's goal.
Yeah, I mean, if you're working on a business standpoint, if this was a corporation that developed a culture where everyone wanted to go work for them and they became super successful, like would we be disappointed? No. And that's what these are. These are corporations, organizations where they're trying to develop a culture where people want to play there and be successful and continue to be successful. And they've developed that. If you look at the Golden State Warriors prior to like drafting Steph Curry and bringing in Steve Kerr, they were not a great team, right? So now they've developed this where they brought in some good players. They develop a culture where they share the ball, they play the right way. These guys enjoy playing with each other. Their egos are checked at the door, and they're extremely successful. And people see this and they want to be a part of it. People are playing. You see guys taking discounts to go play there. Why should we hate the Golden State Warriors because of that? Yeah, some teams are in an unfortunate situation where they can pay the luxury tax to go above the cap, but it's because they've developed a fan base and a market where they generate more revenue and they can afford those extra costs. So why are we gonna like discount these teams or hate on them when they're being successful in developing a culture and a winning culture and a successful culture? I think it's just something for other teams to strive for. Yeah, I mean it sucks if I don't like the guys teaming up or like. What I don't like is players having off-season meetings deciding where they're going to go and all say, okay, we're going to go here. But that's not, I mean, that really didn't happen in Golden State, right? You had Steph and Clay, and there were guys that came through the system. Draymond came through the system. They were all drafted, right? And then the big piece was then Durant saw the success there and jumped on board.
Why wouldn't DeMarcus go win a ring?
And then DeMarcus, I don't know what happened because apparently no one else gave him an offer. I find that hard to believe.
Only the thing that came rumored was the Pelicans,
but
nothing confirmed.
Injury, that's the only thing I can think of. I mean, I'd be surprised though. How would you turn down like $20 million guaranteed? I don't know how anyone. I don't know. That's a tough decision to make.
Is there signing bonuses that we don't know about?
Maybe, or maybe he's got so much money that it doesn't really matter to him at this point.
To be fair, he's made a decent amount of coin.
Yeah, he has,
and he'll get a max deal next year as a free agent.
Yeah. So maybe that's what his thinking is. But if no one else gave him a deal, I mean, the Golden State, I think it was a smart move to sign him. I think he's going to help their team. I mean, he's arguably one of the best centers in the league, right? I mean, his
that starting five is disgusting.
That's like NBA 2K 19 easy.
It's a Team USA starting lineup.
Yeah. What he can
minus
do,
LeBron.
What he can do on the court, it's special. I mean, some of his personality and character issues may come into question, but his talent never in question. So, I mean, I don't hate on Golden State for what they've been able to do. I think they've done it the right way. I don't like when guys when the Miami thing happened, when these guys kind of met up in the offseason and said we're all going to go here. That I don't like. Maybe the NBA can go to a harder cap as opposed to a soft cap and force teams to stay under the cap like the NHL does. But
I like that.
Maybe that's an option. Maybe that's a route they go or something similar to that. But definitely, I don't think what Golden State is doing is bad. I think they've done it the right way, and I mean, it's not fun for fans. But you sit back and look at it. I mean, they've done it the right way, and they've been successful, and all the power to them.
It's fun for fans in San Francisco.
It is fun for fans. They're going to love their life. Andre Iguodala is a sixth man. God. But anyways, producer Go was telling me before we move on to our roundtable discussion, the Raptors discussed a deal to acquire the 2013 pick from the Thunder. And what I'm getting told is kind of Cole's notes version, and that was kind of to provide the link to look. But the Toronto Raptors president, Masai Ujiri, wanted Giannis Antetokounmpo, whom I must say is my favorite basketball player right now. My favorite player growing up has always been Vince Carter. Raptors fan, I was young. I was always an MJ and Carter fan. I'm an MJ fan. I was young. MJ was still around. So I must say those are my favorite guys. But everyone knows me. I love Giannis. Okay, and this breaks my heart just to even hear this even more because I know we discussed this before, but this is just reminders. Giannis, the Raptors wanted to trade for the 13th pick for the Thunder, but the deal fell through. Ultimately, the Thunder didn't draft him because the Thunder had somebody else in mind, and the Milwaukee Bucks picked him up at 15. And the Raptors were unable to get Giannis. And now the Raptors didn't own a first-round pick that year because the first-round pick they owned, they traded to the Rockets for Kyle Lowry.
So they're trying to move a pick to Oklahoma City for the next year or do something of sorts to try draft Giannis.
Tough to pull that trade when you don't have a current first-round pick.
Yeah, absolutely. Very tough trade. Especially if they maybe would have had to trade 2 future firsts, which would have been tough to swallow.
Well,
but no,
for Giannis,
everyone would have been like, that was a great trade. Yeah, but that is from producer Ghost finding that. Like, thanks to producer Ghost, and he's gonna not have a name. I want people to guess his name. What it is? If you can guess it, maybe I'll tell you. But moving on to the roundtable talk, fellas, and I'm gonna jump off right into it with the World Cup. We're gonna bring a topic here each to the table. Dave McCaig alongside Jamie Antonello and Matt Premo here on the Game Sports Show. Jordan Robinson-Wright was with us, but he bailed because he had previous plans. But I guess it's just the three of us. It's going to be curfew. I like that.
Coach, put him to bed.
We're going to have the three of us bring a topic each to the table. We're going to quickly discuss before we wrap up tonight's show here at Sportscenter. Producer Ghost says we have approximately 15 minutes to get this round table going at the most, so we'll go as quick as we can here. Tops, try to get done a little bit earlier as well. So I'll jump into the World Cup. You know, we have our final set. We have France. We have Croatia. The Monday edition of the Game Sports Show, I predicted England would be going on against France, and I thought England would be getting the win. I know there's a lot of England fans here in Sault Ste. Marie that are not pleased, but I know there's a lot of Croatia fans here, especially at Croatia's corner on the corner of Wellington and Bruce, that are very probably excited. So, reaction about the World Cup. Now, I have most of my observing of it and watching has been through highlights due to work and watch as much as I can, and mainly because Italy or Canada's not in it, but let's be real, because Italy is not a part of the World Cup this year. I predicted Argentina to win, so that really shows where my luck of the World Cup is really going. But my reaction is I think this is one of the best World Cups that I've followed and really looked into. A lot of underdog teams like Russia, a lot of teams have come up there and done very well. It would have been great to see England win, but even Croatia, strong team. France, young and strong team. They're going to be a dynasty, I think, in the World Cup for another couple years, couple World Cups. So very exciting, a very exciting World Cup. I think that it's really been shown on the TV thus far. Preems, I'm going to go to you first to get your reaction on the World Cup finals that is set now between France and Croatia. Reaction to the semifinals today with England losing, and just the other semifinals with Belgium losing to France, and just overall about the World Cup.
Yeah, well, I think your prediction was as good as mine because I picked Germany to win. So
they got pretty good. Yeah, a lot of people predicted
they didn't do too well, but I'm not a big soccer guy. I don't claim to know much about soccer. I do follow it casually when the World Cup's going on. I will watch a couple of matches and follow it. I was kind of hoping England would make it to the finals, simply because in the last couple of World Cups they've been hoping to make it there, and they've had these star players, and they've never made it, and they've always fizzled out early. And this year was a younger squad, and no one really expected much of them. They made it all the way to the semifinals, so it was cool to see them do that. I was kind of hoping they'd make it to the next step, but I mean, I don't really have a horse in the race. I'm not a big fan of any of the teams. My favorite part of the World Cup is watching the reaction of the fans when their team scores a goal. That's my favorite part of the World Cup.
England wins.
That's my favorite part of the World Cup. Some of these England and Croatia, when they're celebrating after their team wins and the goals, I think it's incredible. I wish we had that kind of culture here for North American sports, because the bars and the public space that they have set to watch the games, and these guys are going nuts and beers flying everywhere. It's pretty cool to see, and the passion that these fans have for the sport of soccer. So that's been my favorite part of the World Cup. I'm expecting the finals to be good. I mean, Croatia's a pretty small country to make it as far as they have. So I mean, nice that the underdog story is always good to pull for. So I think that would be I'd be rooting for come the finals on Sunday. But really, like I said, it's just it's different for me. I'm not a big soccer guy, but I do when it comes around World Cup. I mean, like every 4 years. So I do like to follow and watch a little bit here and there, and. I mean, it has been pretty exciting. We got to watch the penalty kicks between was it Russia and Croatia?
Russia and Croatia, yeah.
So we got to watch the penalty kicks last week and after our game finished, and it's been a pretty exciting World Cup from the highlights I've seen, and looking forward to a good final on Sunday.
I think Croatia corner is going to be booming in Sault Ste. Marie. They have no idea.
Do they serve
right now? I don't know.
No?
I don't know if they do.
They should get a license for Sunday, I bet.
They should. They have to. Jamie, you pal. Same question.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say I'm a little bit better than you guys. I predicted Russia, so I made it a little bit farther. But
yeah, because you're going to all be doping, you thought.
Hey, man,
Russia,
what are you going to do? Hey, relax. I mean, I'm just playing the odds.
Yeah.
Playing the odds.
They'd find a way to rig that.
But, I mean, I'm same as you. I mean, I was kind of rooting for England as they went here. I got a couple family members that live in England, and they're pretty diehard for it. And I mean, I was a little disappointed when I found out today. I mean, let's be real, I didn't watch the match, but
some people have to work.
Yeah, some people have to work. You got to do it.
Not everyone's on holiday.
It's weird timelines, man. It's morning and afternoon games. It's not great, but this World Cup has been super entertaining. I mean, there's been so many games that have gone to penalty kicks, lots of great goals. Unfortunately, like a lot of the big dogs have got knocked out, but honestly, it's made it more entertaining because you don't know what's going to happen. Everything's all over the place, and I mean, should I bring up the fact that the last time France was in the World Cup, we had the Zidane headbutt? Should I bring that up? I mean,
You could.
well, it really didn't matter.
Round table,
Italy still beat them. So back in the day when I still remember playing. I was playing Sioux Minor football as a grade 8 kid in 2006, and team full of Italian kids. And I remember 3 or 4 of our parents just sprinting to our game, celebrating the win. Could care less that we had a football game. Just so excited that we won the World Cup. But I mean, yeah, I'm looking forward to a good game from Croatia and France. I mean, will I watch it? Yeah, probably this one. But it's at 11 a.m., so I'm going to have to kind of tune in. Use a little bit of my data at work, like I've been giving our kicker on the road. Give him some. Our kicker's a big soccer guy, so shout out to Grobby. And yeah, I'm going to have to spare some data and hopefully catch a little bit of this match.
Preems, I'm going to go to you first.
Now, I will say if we have to cut to commercial, I'll just give you the tap before we move on. Kind of, producer Go said we might have to break it up to go into a quick commercial before we wrap up tonight's show. But we'll just let you go first, and I'll just give you the tap if we have to do so.
Your topic, sir. The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional sponsor and additional home to the Game Sports Show, Sportscenter Bar and Grill. Sportscenter Bar and Grill, located on 624 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Sportscenter rated top sports bar for the second year in a row. At SportsCenter, enjoy their famous 75-cent wing night along with delicious Molson products on tap, along with a great atmosphere and other great food options available as well. SportsCenter Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar.
Thank you for tuning in to the Game Sports Show, broadcasting Wednesday nights from SportsCenter Bar and Grill in Sault, Ontario, and online at thegamesportshow.com and thegamesportshow.podbean.com. I hope you are enjoying the broadcast. If you want more of the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports talk show, I encourage you to visit our website at thegamesportshow.com. There you can find a pair of broadcasts of the game and the Game Sports Show. If you like hockey and baseball, Thursday nights are for you, as the Game Sports Show is at Boston Pizza in Sault, Ontario, with Dave McCaig, along with regular contributors Justin Heichel, Dane Hantro, and Brad Cochamilio from SiouxToday.com. This show focuses on local and national hockey in the wintertime and baseball in the summertime, and will include guests and interviews from local and national figures. The game can be heard Monday nights on WUPN Eagle 95.1 locally or online at RadioEagleSioux.com starting at 6 p.m. on Monday nights. The full 2-hour show from the Wicked Sister on Ashman Street, downtown Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan can be heard at our YouTube channel. Just look for Scott Nason, or you can hear the podcast of the show at thegamesportshow.podbean.com. Scott Nason, along with Dave McCaig, Butch Davis from the Telegram News and Butch on Sports, and EJ Russell, as we focus on local sports for the first half of the show, and then regional and national sports, including high school athletics, junior hockey, Lake Superior State University athletics, the Detroit sports scene, and more. Once again, you can hear 3 versions of the game at our website, thegamesportshow.com, or at the podcast page, thegamesportshow.podbean.com. Also on the podcast page, you will find audio broadcasts of Sioux Eagles home hockey games, along with Brimley Bay's basketball, football, and Sioux High Blue Devil hockey, along with Butch Davis and his radio show Butch on Sports, and Scott Nason on ESPN Blacksburg with Paul Van Wagner on The Drive. You can also find us on YouTube. Look for the Scott Nason channel, and thank you for listening, and keep it locked here to the game for all your local, regional, and national sports talk that you just can't get enough of.
Get Wicked Catering from the crew at the Wicked Sister.
We like to think of ourselves as foodies. While our favorite foods are paired with a beer tasting at the Wicked Sister, you can now have the same creative menu for your next catered business luncheon, family get-together, wedding, or holiday party. Our white truffle risotto appeals to your gluten-free and vegetarian guests. Add sautéed shrimp or freshly grilled chicken for a pop of protein. Or let us build you a custom menu to suit your needs. From plated events of 15 to buffets for 200, the Wicked Sister will cater your event with tapas, snacks, cravables, or a full sit-down dinner.
The Wicked Sister, where you'll be treated like family, whether you like it or not.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional home to the Game Sports Show, Canadian franchise Boston Pizza. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, located on 601 Great Northern Road, Sault Ste. Marie. Come in and join Boston Pizza for its numerous specials that are offered. After 9 p.m. daily, come in to Boston Pizza for $9 schooners, $4 rail drinks, and delicious food. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, you're among friends.
Hi, it's Craig Hartsburg, former NHL player and NHL coach. Welcome to the Game Sports Show.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show. It is yours truly, David McCaig. We do apologize, as we did have to go to commercial break. Right when I said I'll let you know we have to go to commercial break, then all of a sudden, zip, right to commercial break. We had some technical difficulties there. New equipment, new stuff that we're dealing with, and unfortunately we don't bring your power cables to power those equipment. Eventually they do die after extreme usage. So we're getting back to the old way of recording here, and we still are in our roundtable discussion. You, my friend Matt, were telling us about, well, you were going to state us to your topic. Actually, that's right. I know when you started talking, I know what you're going to be talking about because I went right to, it just powered off all of a sudden. So I apologize that it powered off. It's actually Jamie that recognized the microphone wasn't recording. So thanks to Jamie for being alert. The Molson products have not kicked in yet. And right now, we've already talked about my topic with the World Cup. We're going to go to you for your topic. I'm not going to state what that is. I'm going to let you basically repeat what you were saying.
Yeah, so actually, I made a joke. I said we're going to talk about. I said we're going to talk about the Tour de France, but I was completely kidding. I couldn't hold a conversation about that for longer than about 2 seconds. So no, I just wanted to bring up the John Tavares signing. I know you've probably talked about it on your hockey segment, the thing you do at Boston Pizza there, and you guys talked about. To the end of the earth, but I mean, I think it's a huge deal for Toronto and the Toronto market being able to sign an all-star and one of the best players in the league. They've tried to do this the last couple of years and probably for even longer than that and been unsuccessful. So the fact that they're able to get John Tavares to sign there, I think it's huge. I think it puts them at the top of the Eastern Conference. I mean, they were a playoff team last year. I think this only makes them better. They didn't give up much in the offseason, and I think they have a solid goalie. And maybe the one area they would want to improve is the defense, but I think their forwards are among the best in the league. So I'm not even a Leafs fan. I'm actually a Detroit Red Wings fan, so I'm not biased here by any means, but I think it's a great move and it's good for the market. I know it can be a tough place to play with the media there, but the fact that one of the superstars in the NHL decided to go there, I think it's great. I think it's great for the Leafs fan base, great for the Toronto market, and I think it's good for the NHL.
I like the topic. And yes, we did talk about it on the Boston Pizza edition and the Silver Creek edition, and that's what we talk about on the Thursday and Sunday show now with talking a lot of hockey, a lot of news in hockey, especially with guests coming by. So it was a topic that you can hear on the GameSportsShow.podbean.com and on the GameSportsShow.com to get all myself, Brad, and Justin's reaction. It was a lot, but I'm always game to talk about that. It's music to my ears when it comes to that. It's very good to bring it to the Wednesday show here and get that little flavor on the round table. That's the whole point of that. So we'll definitely discuss it. I'll go now, Jamie, if that's okay, since I'm kind of grabbed the mic in front of you there. And I will say before we go over to you that one thing that we did kind of discuss before we were even recording was the captaincy side of things. And when I remember somebody saying, I'm not going to throw him under the bus right now because he's still part of the show, Dustin Grant, and I just threw him under the bus. I threw him there under the bus. He was told from a friend whom apparently is best friends with John Tavares that John Tavares will never sign in Toronto. That's apparently what John told his friend. Obviously, that source was incredibly incorrect, and I want to meet this guy and talk to him and get him on the show. Obviously not that good of friends because the guy grew up a Leaf fan, a big Leaf fan. He had sheets of Toronto Maple Leafs like I had as a kid. Everyone had that. He's a hometown boy. And he also took a little bit of a pay cut to come home, too. The Islanders had more money on the table and more years. And he came home because he saw what was there and available on the team, that they're ready to win now, which makes me feel absolutely fantastic to say. It gives me that little shiver, that little excitement. And also, this deal is very affordable for Toronto. People look at it and say $11 million. Hey, look, McDavid's making 13. Okay, and Johnny Tavares is one of the best centermen in the National Hockey League. He's making 11 for 7. He's still in the prime of his career, if not younger than his prime still. He's still 28 years old. He's going to be there, and he's locked up until he's 35 years old. Perfect time. Many championships to win there for him, which would be awesome. Now, Dubas, Babcock, and Shanahan went into that meeting, and they hit fucking home run. They went in there, and the Bautista bat flip was in their head. When they walked out that door, they just tossed the computer because they knew they got that signing on the lock. And even Tavares said he knew as soon as he sat down with them. It's like when people said Babcock's not going to Toronto. When Dubas, Lamoriello at the time, and Shanahan went in there and did their presentation, they took them. I don't know what they're saying to them in the presentations here, but they get those guys to go there. I don't know if they're just saying, hey, look, there's some money. I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing whatever that needs to be done to make that team competitive. And yes, what you were saying, bringing in a couple points, Tavares is the biggest signing in franchise history. They haven't signed a premier center like that ever. You draft Matthews, Nylander, and Marner. You have all those things. We had their contract discussion on the Silver Creek edition of the Game Sports Show. If that would conflict them, no, it's not going to. They're going to be fine. I think they're kind of taking a book out of Pittsburgh where they're not going to be absolutely stacked on the back end. They want to have the right guys, and they're going to promote from within. Remember when they won the Cup last year, Pittsburgh with Nashville? Letang was out. They had their Oli Mata. They had some good guys in there. But Ian Cole and Ron Hainsey, who's now a Maple Leaf, was leading that decor when they won the Cup. It was the right guys and the right fit because around them was all young, like Dumoulin, like Dupree at the time, and all those young guys that were built in the system. Toronto has Timothy Lejeune. They have Travis Dermott. They have Morgan Riley, who's been there since he was 18 years old. They have all these young guys, and I badmouth Jake Gardner all the time, and believe it or not, I'm trying to get Jake Gardner on the show now, which is going to be absolutely hilarious for me and him to be talking. I hope he listens to some editions of the show and see how much I bashed him in it. I apologize, guys, to say it professionally speaking, but Toronto's going to take that youth side, and they're going to grow from within. And that's how they're going to try to win it and develop those D-men. Does that make them win now? It's a little bit difficult. I sure hope that the rumors about Justin Falk are true about bringing him in, because I think that would just put them over the top and make them favorites out of the East. Unless Erik Karlsson goes to Tampa Bay, then that's a complete different ball game, okay? But I don't think they can afford him or trade to players to afford him. But sticking with Toronto, a couple points from over to you, Jamie. The captaincy side for Tavares, I don't think he's going to get it as much as he deserves to get it. I really think if they're going to give someone a C, they should give it to Marleau. And the reason why you got to give it to Marleau for a couple of years because it buys you a few years to make sure who that true leader is between Matthews and Tavares. Now, people think that's a stupid comment. Maybe it is. If anyone's getting the C, then if Matt Marleau isn't, it is Tavares. Sorry, Austin. You're still 20 years old. You're still young. Hopefully you take a long-term deal in Toronto and win multiple championships, and you'll get that C eventually. But it's not about the letter. I hope Matthews has that mentality about not having to be a captain. I hope he just wants to win and does well for himself and the team. I think you got to look at Tavares and maybe think that was a part of the deal, though, that he was going to be a captain. So I'm expecting a captaincy announcement to be by the summer. Maybe they go with 4 A's again this year, which would be Marleau, Tavares, Riley, and Kadri. As you see, I didn't throw Matthews in that. Maybe Kadri and Matthews will rotate like Babcock has done between home and away. We'll see. Or maybe Matthews gets it over Kadri, which would be very surprised, though, because Babcock will always have someone on D that has it, which also makes me look at Ron Hainsey. I think maybe he does go the veteran route and say, hey, you know what, maybe Kadri doesn't get it, maybe Ron Hainsey gets it. So you have 2 defensemen get it and 2 forwards that have A's. Or you can look at it and see, okay, I'm going to go with having Marleau as a C or Tavares. It's going to be interesting. My prediction is, though, that Tavares doesn't get it this year. But he eventually will get it. But if he does get the C, I wouldn't be surprised on that note. The signing in general is the biggest thing in franchise history. Great move, great signing. Awesome for the Maple Leafs organization. They need to improve on the back end, though, still. That's big. But definitely, when that signing was announced, Jamie, I absolutely flipped in my apartment. I think someone thought I was getting murdered or something was happening. That's fantastic to see that Toronto has brought in this player, and it's going to be exciting for the next 7 years seeing him wear number 91. Jamie, I'll get your reaction.
Well, let's be real. There's a lot to delay with, a lot to deal with out of that. First of all, shocked, Dave, that you're criticizing the defense for Toronto. I'm shocked, absolutely shocked. And
First time, man.
I'm kind of glad you brought up the Gardner thing, because I was going to, and I was just going to roast you hard, because if he does get on the show, which I hope the Game Sports Show fans, I hope he does. I may have to step in on the Thursday edition so Dave can take a break so that Jake Gardner will actually come on. And it'll be me and Hike leading the charge there. And Brad. Brad, who's doing a fantastic job for us. But bottom line, yeah, I agree, guys, right? Huge signing. And not to say that there hasn't been absolutely massive stars in Toronto before, but there's never been just a landmark signing like this guy in the prime of his career. Team Canada guy coming home, right? Like you said, that picture he posted of him as a kid with the Leaf sheets on, he's got like the Star Wars spaceship in the background. Just like you feel something when you see that, right? And he's coming home, and it's not like the LeBron going home to Cleveland thing, right? Coming home, all that. This is different. If you're a Canadian, you feel it a little bit more. Hockey's in our blood. You get it. JT gets it, and let's have a little bit of a boost for the Sioux here. Like, apparently Kyle Dubas was doing the most of the talking in that meeting.
Do you blame that? That's what people from the Sioux are like.
No, but yeah. I mean, if they're anything like you, Dave, he talks a lot. So, I mean, good for him. I think he's really stepped into that role. He's proven Shanahan right in keeping him and letting Lou walk. I mean, signing JT, that's a pretty good way to start.
Yeah, my favorite quote that I saw on Twitter was Dubas stole Lemorello's lunch money. I thought that was good. It's definitely exciting to see a local guy leading the meeting and being able to land a large free agent like that. It's huge.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm always going to root for Kyle Dubas no matter what. I mean, they've drafted a couple Greyhounds the last couple of years. He knows those guys really well still, so I think he's got great relationships with our program. But as far as the captaincy thing, I think, Dave, you brought up Marleau. I honestly hadn't really thought about Marleau being a captain there, and it makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Veteran guys, the oldest guy in that room, most experience, been a captain before. I mean, but bottom line, if it's not Marleau, I think everybody's going, is it either Matthews or Tavares? And Bobby Orr was all over Instagram and Twitter the last couple of days defending Austin about, is he mad about the captaincy, about not getting it or potentially not getting it, or about having to share ice time, being a centerman. Like, who cares? You're playing with good players. Like, you've signed JT. You are now going to make that jump, and hopefully you got it. I'm going to say it right now. You got to get to the Eastern Final. You have to. Like, Toronto's a tough media's town, right? There's a lot of criticism, especially for No, not at all. Not at all. Leaf fans, they're the nicest people in the world.
Like, they're Arizona Coyote fans.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Who cares if we make the playoffs? Like, whatever. But, I mean, and I'm not trying to pump the tires. I know Matt isn't. Dave, huge Leafs fan. Matt's a Red Wings fan. I'm a Blackhawks fan. I love this signing. I'm happy that Toronto's doing well. And I'm not going to lie, last year, I mean, Blackhawks were out of the playoffs. I was cheering for Toronto big time. But I hope that there's no discord at all as far as the captaincy is concerned. And bottom line, if they have 4 A's again, Babcock's going to make it work. I'm going to trust in him. I know Matt will, being a Red Wings fan, right? Babs is the truth, man. He knows what's up. He's going to get those guys going. JT's a huge signing. Let's go Toronto.
Definitely took a little bit above time with the Toronto Tavares. Sure, I'll say John Tavares signing. Producer Ghost said he's bought us a little bit more time, so we'll move on. Jamie, do you have any final points on your topic here, Matt?
Yeah, just be interested to see what they do with the captaincy. I mean, like I was saying earlier, I don't think Matthews is the type of guy to be upset about if he didn't get it. For everything I've seen in the media, he seems like a pretty level-headed guy. So we'll see what they do. And realistically, if you have 4 A's, I don't think it makes a difference. I think guys step up and take leadership roles regardless of what's on the front of their jersey. So, yeah, I'm just excited to see them compete and hopefully be successful, even though I'm not a Leafs fan.
Definitely the time to bleed the blue. And if you haven't been bleeding the blue, then stay off the bandwagon, though. That's from a Leaf fan. It's time for all the chirps to be put to rest because Leaf fans are coming now. But, Jamie, over to your topic to conclude tonight's show.
I'm going to jump over to the CFL here. And we've talked about Johnny Manziel signing with the Tiger Cats and all that, and Jeremiah Masoli is the starter, and it kind of seems like for the foreseeable future a little bit. I know we've all kind of gone on the record and said, I know personally I said if he makes it, if it's 4 games before Johnny Football touches the field, I will be surprised. I'm going to eat my words. Masoli is second in the league in passing yardage. He's firmly grasped the reins of that starting job. There is no reason for him to not be the starter for the next couple games at least. I mean, let's say they lose 3 or 4 in a row and he starts playing poorly, but him and Mike Riley are leading that league in passing, and Hamilton isn't, I'll put it this way, Hamilton isn't losing any of the games they're losing because of the way Masoli's playing. And so, bottom line, my roundtable question is to you guys is how much longer, if at all, before we, either see Johnny Manziel play for the Ticats, or does he miraculously get traded somewhere?
Oh, you took my thunder.
Well, I think the over-under we talked about originally was Labor Day.
Yeah.
Will Johnny Manziel see the field before Labor Day?
Yep.
It's not looking good at this point, and I think I came on the air and said that it's going to be well before Labor Day he's going to get on the field because Masoli's not going to get the job done. And I was wrong. At the same point, I mean, Masoli's putting up good numbers, but at the same time, the Ticats aren't putting the ball in the end zone.
They're not.
So, yeah, he's passing for over 300 yards and all this, but in the CFL, you got to score. You go up and down the field. If you settle for field goals, you're not going to win games. So, I don't know, maybe a little injury and Masoli goes down for a couple quarters or a game, and we can see what Johnny Manziel can do, right?
Injuries happening.
You're
planning that, eh?
I would, playing. No, I would like to see it. I just want to see him get on the field. He's so dynamic and exciting to watch. I just want to see him get on the field, and if things go the way they are, it doesn't look like he's going to get on the field. So, the only way to change that is maybe, a little sprained ankle out 2 to 4 weeks. So
little sprain.
Yeah, high ankle sprain.
Get the shovel out, boys.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just want to see him get on the field. I don't think the answer is trading him. I know that Toronto, they lost Ricky Wright for the season. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a good situation for Johnny Manziel because there is a lot to learn in Canadian football. So he's probably just grasping the Ticat system and getting used to that. So now you trade him to Toronto. Now he's got to learn a new system all over again. That'd be hard. I don't see that being a good situation for him. I don't see him being successful in that situation. But I think I just want to see him get on the field. I don't know what they got. I don't know. It's tough to say. I don't know what you do because, like I said, Masoli's he's had a good start this season. He's passed for over 300 yards. He's one of the league leaders in passing yardage. But I think you got to find a way to see what he's got because if you're having trouble putting the ball in the end zone, maybe he can be the difference maker. And I'm a big Johnny Manziel fan. I would just like to see him get on the field because I think he's exciting. And I'm looking for entertainment when I watch a football game, and I think he can provide that. So we'll see what happens in Hamilton. I know he's there for 2 years. He's on the contract, so if we have to wait till next year, we have to wait till next year. But I'd like to see it sooner rather than later.
See, I'm going to say flat out that I have to stick by my word and say that I think we're going to see him before Labor Day. Because if I change my mind, that's just not good. But I like 2 things I like. I think that him having to wait till next year is very intriguing to me. I think that might be a likelihood. But you actually took the thought right out of my mouth. I know I can't. This is the first time I disagree with you on something. I think he's going to get traded. I know they signed a 2-year deal. But I kind of feel like that Toronto losing Ricky Ray and having some good weapons up front and wanting to be competitive, and if Franklin doesn't get the job done, yes, I know players on the Argonauts. If he does not get the job done, which he had a decent debut. They got the W against Edmonton, 20-13, I believe, with the score. I know producer Ghost will tell me if I'm incorrect. It was, yeah. So I really think that if Manziel doesn't get in by Labor Day and then Franklin starts to trend on the other side and doesn't go well, the Argonauts, will be forced to kind of deal their hand because they want to be competitive. So yeah, the win was 20-17. Sorry, close enough. Thanks, producer Ghost, for proving me wrong. It's just a field goal. Ish. But I really think that Three Rouges. I really think that Johnny Manziel, if he's not in the Hamilton Tiger Cats lineup by Labor Day, he will be traded to the Argonauts, and he will be playing there for this year. And then going into next year, I think Ricky Ray is going to be on the other side of his career. I think that given this injury, might consider not playing next year.
from what I understand and gather. I think that's a pretty serious injury. So I really think that they can use Menzel for 2 years, and the Argonauts can have good 2 years out of Johnny Menzel. So I'm pro Johnny Menzel to the Argonauts trade. I'm going to call that now and say that it's going to happen as long as he doesn't play before Labor Day. So, Jamie, I'll let you conclude the topic before we conclude tonight's show.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Dave. Your football calls haven't been that far off base sometimes. You call some outlandish ones, and they pay off sometimes, and then you look like the genius, and the rest of us look like idiots. So
that's the only way I can. That's the only way I can try to go above you guys, because you guys being the football experts, me being the quarterback of not the
average Joe, I guess.
The average Joe. I guess I'm not the quarterback of In the Pocket. That's you two.
Schmuck.
I'm like the wide receiver on the In the Pocket segment.
Wow, shots fired, Coach. You want to respond to that?
He's the quarter. You two are the quarterback and running back team. I'm the wide receiver. I catch what you guys are throwing to me for information. Does that make
little
sense?
Pitch pass, like from the running back. Is that what you're going with there?
I don't.
Hail Mary, maybe.
Yeah, okay. I try to make that funny.
Back on topic. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think they really like what Masoli's doing there right now. It's going to be really tough. I don't think he's going to get traded. I'll say this. I'll be very surprised if he does, but I do see where he would fit somewhere else. I mean, basically anywhere else, if he's handed the starting reins, I'm going to watch no matter what. But I think it's just so hard to pick up the Canadian game. And it's not like he agreed to go to the Ticats in February, where he could take some time, and I'm sure he was doing his due diligence in the offseason, but realistically, he wants to be in the NFL. So coverages are so different in the CFL versus the NFL. That extra guy on defense is enormous. He's basically added to the secondary for the majority of the time, and when you in the CFL, you basically have 6 DBs on the field, whereas the NFL is the majority of the time it's 4 or 5. So coverages are so different. A lot, mostly 4, right? Depending on the team, the way the league's going in the NFL now, you get a lot of flex defenses, and you get an extra DB on the field a lot of nickel.
That's due to running, right? More running.
More passing, buddy. More passing, 100%.
More nickel packages.
More nickel and dime, but I mean, in the CFL, even your linebackers, there's not the Ray Lewis or Brian Urlacher 6'3", 250-pound dudes. It's all about speed. The field is so much bigger, and it's so hard to cover that much room. But bottom line, just reading coverages, it's tough, man. I mean, and he had to learn new vocab. He had to learn what a waggle was, right? Receivers can move before the snap. That can't happen in the NFL. Pre-snap motion, all that stuff. There's a million different things, but I mean, Masoli's a pretty mobile guy on his own. I think Johnny just brings that electricity to the field, no matter where he is, no matter what he's doing. He always has the threat to break a run. He can always get out of the pocket. And DBs, hey, we're in the pocket most of the time here. He can always get out of the pocket. But it's so hard to ask a DB to cover for that long. Yeah. If Johnny's extending the play to 5, 6, 7 seconds on a play, you're almost always going to get somebody wide open, save for like complete elite DB play. But I really hope. I mean, my prediction was 4 games. We're at that point. It hasn't happened. So I'm wrong. I'm going to eat my words. But I still sometimes. But I think, I mean, I'm not going to go as far to say as we're going to force an injury on Masoli. It's a pretty savage comment from Coach.
I'm not forcing an injury. I'm just wishing for an injury. I'm hoping.
Because that's better.
Because you want to see Menzel.
No, like it's just like a light ankle sprain that keeps him out 2 weeks. That's it. I'm not asking for an ACL. It's just like a high ankle sprain.
Just a baby injury, right?
ACL now.
I'll feel terrible.
Done.
Yeah, we're getting the Canadian Mountie Police down here, and not the ones from Super Troopers. 2.
Yeah,
you see that second movie?
We haven't. We talked about that.
Don't.
It didn't come to the theaters here in Sault Ste. Marie. We missed out.
Don't ruin it for me.
I won't.
But
Sorry.
bottom line, my opinion, unless Masoli gets injured, and I'm not endorsing an injury on Jeremiah Masoli, I'm going to say that right now.
If he gets injured, I hope it happens on national television, so nobody thinks that I
that you did it.
Yeah, Tanya Harding. Yeah.
Injury outside of work.
We're going to have to get a GPS location on Coach all the time.
Yes.
But unless Masoli gets hurt, I don't think we see Johnny till next year at this point.
That's a good guess. I like that prediction. Well, fellas. Oh, Matty.
I know we talk about purchasing jerseys. If Manziel starts a game for the Ticats, I am purchasing my Manziel Ticats jersey.
Yeah, let's go.
It'll go beside my Rocky DiPietro jersey.
Okay. Can you send that on Snapchat or Instagram?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll put
the Rocky DiPietro or the
with.
Yeah,
you gotta get that with beside each other.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Can Jamie wear like the Ricky Williams from the Argonauts jerseys? Did you not know that? Remember Ricky Williams played for the Argonauts?
Well, yeah. I watched him play.
Played for the Dolphins too. Then he went back to the NFL to the Dolphins, I believe. No, he did. Then he went to the Ravens. Yeah, okay, I could.
Drafted by the Saints.
Saints, yeah. There's a lot of things that can. First rounder? He was a first rounder, Ricky Williams.
Yeah, they traded everybody.
Yeah, they did for that guy to get. Yeah, but anyway, staying on topic, fellas. Producer goes to tell me we were at 24 minutes, so we're 9 minutes overtime. That's not bad. And once again, to our listeners, apologize that we had to cut the commercial on suddenly at the beginning. It's just like a World Cup game. I like that. The World Cup finals taking place Sunday. France and Croatia. We talked about that. We talked about Tavares going to Toronto. Boy, that sounds great saying that. Oh, anyway, I'll get back to off Cloud 9 for a second. And we talked more football, which is kind of like a good way to end the show because it's like the way we started the show. We started with In the Pocket. We're ending with an In the Pocket kind of news. People are going to wonder why we didn't bring that to the In the Pocket news. It's because, you know what, we eat up a lot of time with our local part, so that's all good. I'm going to say thanks to Scott Nason as we wrap up our show here. The board operator tonight. Thank the beautiful Alicia White.
Easy.
Thank Jordan Robinson-Wright for coming on by, and we hope to have him on. And we're going to have players throughout the entire season for the Sabrecats as we have our entire season of In the Pocket, which is a year-round thing now. And Jamie, just a few comments about the Sabrecats and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I meant to mention it before, but the Sault Steelers are also back in action this weekend. 7 p.m. start at Rocky DiPietro Field, playing the North Bay Bulldogs. Their playoff hopes are kind of on the line now. They gotta win out pretty much to make the playoffs. But head out, cheer on your Sault Sabrecats at 1 o'clock at Superior Heights Field on Saturday versus the Oakville Titans, and then go check out the Steelers later on.
Absolutely. A little plug for the Steelers. We talk Sabercats here, but we're also talking Steelers. We support the local scene here on the Game Sports Show and professional scene, as we are the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show, and the closest within the Algoma region and the Upper Peninsula. So shout out to our Canadian-based listeners, obviously, but obviously our Michigan listeners that are severely popular with our In the Pocket segment, of course, and obviously Sabercats fans. So, fellas, we're going to be not here next week. We're back to our regular schedule of the summer. We're not here Wednesday. We're here on the following Wednesday, and that's where we'll probably have a lot of football news, talk about a lot of Sabercats updates that I'll go back to you for, Jamie, in just a few seconds. And then here this week, we have a show on Thursday at Silver Creek at 6 o'clock, myself, Brad, and Justin. Then on Sunday night at 9:30, myself, Brad, and Justin will be at Boston Pizza. And then going into next week, you have to tune into the Game Sports Show on Monday, The Wicked Sister, to get the updated agenda if we're going to be at Silver Creek or Boston Pizza Thursday or Sunday, as it's going to be a week-to-week kind of adjustment to the end of July until we do Silver Creek on Thursdays starting for the month of August. Then we have another location. We're going to do some special editions on Sundays, and then going into September, we'll have a full home on Thursday as Silver Creek will kind of dwindle off after August, as we're going to have Silver Creek part of our summer promotions here on the Game Sports Show. So, Jamie, I get to you with you had a couple other comments you wanted to add.
Yeah, just final plug for Sabercats. I keep forgetting things. Final. I mean, little postscript, but in 2 weeks it will be our basically playoff preview show for the Sault Sabrecats. So if we get our job done the next 2 weeks and we come away with a couple victories, we will host a playoff game, and hopefully our junior varsity team will also host a playoff game. So we'll hopefully be able to come on the show and talk about a massive day of playoff football in the Sioux. Really hoping the Sioux Steelers can get to the playoffs as well, so we have a huge day of football ahead.
Producer Ghost is just in to me telling me that for next week, based on this weekend, if we have to have updates, he's able to plug in a half hour. If we want to do a half hour update on the Sabercats next week, which might come Wednesday or might come later on the week next week, we'll attach it to a show if we need to, or we'll just release it as a separate
broadcast. So that's from producer goes to you, so you can thank producer goes for that, Jamie. We'll get some plugins in until because as you know, it's getting thin for the season's dwindling down. We got to make sure we keep updated for the Steelers and the Sabrecats. So fellas, you know the agenda this week. Make sure you tune into the www.thegamesportshow.com or thegamesportshow.podbean.com. Follow the show. Make sure you purchase our merchandise. You can email the Game Sports Show ssm@gmail.com. You just state the amount of shirts that you need and sizes, and we could get those delivered to you free of charge within Sault, Michigan or Sault, Ontario. $25 with proceeds going towards charities Northern Critters Need and Big Brother, Big Sister. Big shout out to our sponsors. A big list of sponsors. There's obviously Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the home to the Game Sports Show. Other homes to the Game Sports Show being Silver Creek Golf Course, Boston Pizza, and the Wicked Sister. Wicked Sister being Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Pingator Cleaners, sponsor in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, and the people and businesses here in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. There's Northern Science. Walker Ahmed runs Northern Science. The Superior Pro Shop, Discover the Canvas, North Shore Sports and Auto, the Salon, and also KBX Hockey as well being a part of the show. And big list of sponsors, and there's going to be another sponsor added in the coming weeks. It'll be official. Very excited to announce that because it's a massive signing, and obviously must plug in with the shirts Northern Critters in Need and Big Brother, Big Sister for the merchandise sales there and also for the sponsors. So make sure you tune into that. And Matt, I'm going to say bye-bye to you right now, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Maybe next week we'll be talking to you as well with updates for the Sabrecats.
Yeah, hopefully next time we talk, we're talking about us gearing up for the playoffs and hopefully have a home playoff game. So looking forward to talking to you in a couple weeks.
Absolutely. Jamie, been with me for almost 3 years now, man, 4 years. I could tell Justin, how do you still handle it? Just kidding. No, we're having fun here on the show. But I like giving Dustin the cold shoulder, saying, I'll see you again. I don't give you a big sign-off.
Yeah, I'll be back.
I think so, and once again, thanks to Scott Nason, to Sportscenter Bar and Grill, and make sure you follow us on thegamesportshow.podbean.com. And if there's anything else I missed, no producer goes to tell me when I get off air, but we are getting close for time, so I am going to sign off the show and get into our usual conclusion portion. Keep your sticks on the ice, drain your threes, catch your touchdowns, swing your bats, and shoot your shots. Boo, yeah.